Welcome to the Horror Hangout, a podcast where film fans watch the best and worst horror movies of all time and talk about them. My name is Ben Errington, and I'm joined by my regular co-host, Mr.
Andy Conduit Turner. Hello, Ben, and indeed, hello, everybody, including this week's guests.
Hello, everybody, especially this week's guests, who are... we're joined by a very, very, very special pair of guests today. Professional idiots, their words, not ours. Ben Groves and Rob Macfarlane of the Every Movie Ever podcast, a show which explores the worst cinema has to offer and the best movies you may have missed. Welcome to the show, Ben and Rob. Hello.
Oh,
hey, man.
You very much. That was
Yes.
lovely. That's the first time someone's actually bothered to read that.
I started
Is it?
choking on my coffee.
Yeah.
I'll
Normally
be
people
honest.
normally people go. So tell us about yourselves, and then we go. You
Oh,
didn't warn us
no.
we needed to do that.
Yeah.
Do you want to know? I did read it, though. I took the time to read it about
Yeah.
30
Thanks, man.
minutes ago.
That's a level of professionalism we can only ever aspire to.
Mm.
Of
Realistically, we're never going to hit that.
No,
No. Well, thank you for
We
having
never
us. We feel very welcome.
you're absolutely welcome. Thank
I
you.
love the backgrounds, man.
Mm.
The ball bags
Yeah.
and clowns.
Ball bags and clowns. That's the nicknames that we usually go by.
Mm.
Which one's which? We'll never tell.
We'll never tell. That is an incredibly pink-looking scrotum, though. If they are ball bags, you've
I've got
really
a theory
got to see.
I've got a theory about the ball bags. I've got a
Mhm.
grand unified theory of killer clowns from outer space, which is gonna blow your incredibly large minds.
Glad we've gotten a professional for this one. I thought it was nonsense, but no. Now we're going to we'll soon know.
So,
I know.
can you guys just tell us a bit about your show? How long you guys have been doing it? What kind of episodes you put out, and how regularly you do? They are incredibly regular.
So I'm Rob, and the one with the sort of Midlands-esque accent is Ben.
Hello.
We do the Every Movie Ever podcast, and we do a sort of very light-hearted, very crude look at film theory and the skeletons and bones that are sort of underpin every movie ever. So we'll pick a series. So at the moment, we're doing all the films with Martin McDonagh and all the legendary Monsterverse stuff, and we'll look at what makes that series and why. So in October, we did horror films.
Wordy. Far too
And
wordy.
I'm the wordy one, and
Wordy.
he's the derailer.
Two 30-somethings with broken brains
Wordy.
with commitment issues, so we struggle to find any sort of genre to stick to. So we're doing all of them in our own time, which
Is
is
the goal.
at the moment is weekly.
Yeah, but the thing is, Ben, you described that as 30-somethings with broken brains and commitment issues. You could have just said
Yes.
podcast hosts.
Yes. Look at
Yeah,
Look at us
that
all.
kind of explains everything.
Look at all of us right
yeah,
here.
looking at my screen now, yeah.
What I love that you've done there is, though, you've hung a lantern on it by saying that, therefore, diffusing any criticism anyone should ever raise.
Exactly.
Exactly.
In your face, predicted it. If your criticism is predictable,
Yeah.
get the fuck, you're out.
There you go, man.
We are very used to being bullied, and therefore we've learned to do it ourselves first.
Mhm.
Beat 'em to the punch. Is the goal to watch and cover every movie ever on
Yes,
the podcast?
and we will.
Because-
We're already a good way into that.
I say we're
Yeah.
about a third of the way in.
Yeah.
What have we done? Like 120 movies now?
A
There
third
can't be
of the way
many
into
left.
movies?
Yeah, there
That's
can't
not
be
a lot.
many left.
No, you've got to be.
No,
scraping
I
the
don't mean to
bottom now.
terrify you, but new movies are released every day, probably.
Yeah, probably, but we'll
Mm.
catch up. You
That's
know, we
problematic.
cover one a week, so we'll get there.
Yeah, I see what you did there. The maths, it adds up.
Yeah,
you know?
it's
Thanks,
personally
man.
adds up. Thank you.
And I joined you guys for the Wolfman episode,
You
You
did.
did.
You smashed
which
it.
was good fun. And we've mentioned that episode a few times on this show. Specifically, Andy watched the movie as well, and then our guest from last week, Kim, had recently watched it, and we talked about the problematic nature and the
Mm.
fact that he was less of a predator when he was a wolf. It turned out.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think that was Andy's take. That was your take,
Nice.
wasn't it?
Was
What about versus aliens? Was he more or less of a predator?
Awful.
no. It's going to be a tough call. I'd have to see them on screen together.
I would love to see that film. I'd love to see 1930s Wolfman versus a xenomorph. It would be about 45 seconds of content.
It wouldn't even be that. Was it? This
I'd
wolf man was battered to death by an old man with a walking stick. He's
But-
got absolutely no chance against a fucking xenomorph. Like,
He's
literally
gonna
the
try
perfect
and
killing
like.
machine.
He's literally gonna try and sexually assault a xenomorph, get eaten immediately, and then roll credits. Like that's it.
No, actually, now you say that.
Pick you up at 8.
Who's going to kill who? The xenomorph kills Wolfman every time. Who's going to sexually assault who? Wolfman wins.
Hang on. Does the
Mm.
alien, queen or otherwise,
Mhm.
have a Chekhov's wolf-headed silver stick? Because if you can only kill a werewolf with silver, they can like bite
they're
them
little-
a million times.
Their little teeth, aren't they like silverish?
Silver
Yeah,
colored
yeah,
isn't
silver.
silver.
What? I mean, you don't have to
Werewolf-
test whether it's real silver,
Andy,
man.
Andy,
If it's
Andy.
fuck, if
Silver
we're doing that,
coloured
my
is silver.
jewelry's fucked.
All right, HS Samuel.
We also all right, HS Samuel.
That's the
We-
most obscurely British joke I've ever heard.
If you want obscure British jokes, you've come to the right place.
Yeah.
We did, staying with Xenomorphs a second, we did recently have a conversation is, what would you do if you had a tiny little version of your own mouth that came out of your mouth? What would you do with it?
We know what we do with it. Don't need to
Yeah,
ask.
immediately.
We cover those last few inches.
Oh no, I was thinking whisper
Oh.
obscenities into strangers' ears in a slightly higher pitch. So then when they turn around and are like, "Was that you?" You go, "No," and then
Fuck
it's
no.
like, "Psst,
I would never leave the
no,
house
that wasn't
again.
me."
And Rob, what you were thinking was self-fellatio, is that correct?
Yes, yeah.
Mm.
Very
With
sharp
that little
teeth.
mouth.
Just to clarify.
Yeah, just in case my
Just
joke
to
wasn't
clarify.
quite clear
Yeah.
enough with the crudeness.
Okay, very nice. Let's
What was your
jump
answer to that one, Ben?
into-
Going back, just making sure. Would you? I know you're a singer. Would you do harmonies? Could you use both mouths at a
that's
time?
Good idea, isn't it? I think like you do like backing vocals. You know, some bands have got like those crossover vocals. It's not quite. It's not
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
harmony. It's just those vocals are crossing over. Taking Back Sunday. I'm thinking.
You'd do a great
Let's-
cover of like Twist and Shout, something like that.
I'm loving the
Mm.
cutting edge reference there, Mr. Errington.
Hell yeah! I'm
Got
as
your-
cutting edge as they come.
Finger on the pulse of the corpse of music.
That's right, and I'm fucking it. I'm fucking that corpse of music. Necrophilia.
It's a weird day when Ben and I feel fucking classy.
let me redirect the trajectory of this podcast by talking about some horror news for this week, and very, very relevant to the movie we're covering today. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the game. I'm sure
Yes.
everybody is aware of this. We've already discussed the announcement of this, but there has been a story in the last 7 days, and that is that the Chiodo Brothers, who are making the movie about the 1988 cult classic that, of course, we will discuss in more detail today, they've said that they're going to expand the mythology, the movie's mythology, and I don't think it's going to be a straight up sort of like, what is it? How do you call it? The multiplayer 4v1 sort of game.
It's
Oh, like an
asymmetrical-
uneven multiplayer. That's the
Don't
one.
get him started.
asymmetrical multiplayer.
I will get you started. Asymmetrical multiplayer, is that correct?
Yeah.
How do you feel about this? I kind of feel like that is the format that makes me less interested.
Yeah, I'm sick of it, Ben.
Sick.
I
to
love
the
it, man.
absolute
Ben
back
Groves
teeth.
sits in a bathtub filled with asymmetrical horror games
Mm.
and rubs them upon his face. And goes, oh, this is so original and refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
Because this one is 3v1, whereas this one is 4v1.
Oh,
It's
wait.
a whole
Joke's on
fucking new
you.
thing.
What about,
can
is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game like that as well?
Yeah, but I think that's
Every horror game is like
3v4
that. Oh, fuck off.
because it's different. It's fresh. It's refreshing.
There are an infinite number of numerical combinations you could continue to
Exactly.
raise.
See, maths is fun.
This one's
that's even without-
4083 versus -2.
Yeah.
And that's without even saying like other variations, like one person changes sides halfway through, but which one?
Exactly.
Oh my god, Andy, you fucking
Which
changed the
one?
game there, mate. You should work in games development. That is, they can
Honestly,
dine out on that for another
I'm
couple
expecting
of years.
DMs any moment now after this. stage mode.
No one's gonna
Why
DM
don't
you.
you
They're
get
gonna
shoes
rob
for
that
that?
fucking idea. The idea's gone. You watching 2 years? There's gonna be like a fucking I don't know Nightmare on Elm Street game, and it's that.
And one of them be the stoner kid that Freddy like turns into a big worm and goes in him.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's it. Done it.
Dibs playing that one. I'm in.
bibs indeed.
You are in.
So apparently they've got a notebook of ideas that they've been working on for 35 years with the team. So obviously the movie's directed by Stephen Chiodo, and they say the
Sorry,
Chiodo
they've
brothers.
been working on it for 35 years and they have a notebook. That
apparently
seems
they
like
have
a very
Maybe
that
it's
seems
like a
poor work
metaphorical
ethic.
notebook.
Okay, fine.
Maybe it's notebooks. Oh wait, no, sorry, it is notebooks.
Oh right,
Numerous
okay.
notebooks.
Oh, okay. They've
Maybe
got at
maybe their
least two.
writing's really small, Rob. For fuck's sake, you ever thought about that? Tiny, tiny, tiny writing.
Didn't say how many pages it is as well. It could be one like maybe you used to go to school and you get a fresh pad when you go in there, and you've lost it before you're a quarter of the way in, or you've spilt something on it. Maybe they have kept it pristine.
Found the rich kid.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
Found the rich kid with his new stationery.
If you're a rich
no.
kid, you had a Filofax.
Oh, fucking
brand-
Filofax fucks.
Bro, Filofax was shit. I had a wrestling one. I'm pretty sure I've still got
You
it
had a
somewhere.
Filofax. You didn't have fucking. You didn't
It
have
was a
roof
knockoff
and you had a
Filofax.
Okay,
it was
fine.
like a magnetic thing. It wasn't like the zip up thing.
All right, fine, yeah.
And it was just Triple H in aggressively tight underwear on the front.
Tight underwear, yeah.
Did you use it to organize your wrestling franchise?
I actually thought it would help me not get bullied. Turns out going into school with a very muscular man in tiny pants does not help with the bullying situation. I had the same idea, but apparently no.
So, yeah, this is my dad on this Filofax.
Yeah, right.
Say
that on parents even.
Yeah.
And did you also walk around just telling people to suck it over and over again?
Oh, mate.
That does sound like something you would have done as a kid.
Yeah, the glory days, man.
What a time to be alive, man.
I
What a time
know.
to be alive.
To be young again, huh?
Yeah.
Before this PC culture ruined it all, eh?
Can't do anything now. You can't chop your crotch aggressively and tell someone to suck it without being carted off to
jail.
Yeah, straight to jail. If you just Andy, if you just say suck it,
if you just say
you
suck
get
it,
arrested
they'll arrest you.
and thrown in jail. If you just say suck it,
you've both been banned on Twitter multiple times just for saying suck it this amount of times on this podcast.
Yeah. Apparently you shouldn't at like your whole following list when you do it, but you know. Okay, so based on those notebooks of ideas, they've given them insight into the origins of the clown race and apparently the possibility that they've been visiting Earth for a very, very long time. So maybe there's going to be some like history of the race of clowns and some backstory to that. Sounds very interesting. I think of all of the
they touch on that idea in the movie. It's a little theory that they come up with.
Interesting applies, but all right.
I mean,
is that Johnny Tobacco's reference? I don't know his first name. Mr. Tobacco's reference. Mike Tobacco.
That's his theory that they've been here. They're ancient astronauts.
That's where we got the idea of clowns from.
Yeah,
it makes so much sense. I just saw that dude from Ancient Aliens, like clowns.
Yeah, clowns.
It was just that.
Next up on the news, we've got Jordan Peele's Monkey Paw Productions are launching a horror audio series called Quiet Part Loud. The show, produced by Monkey Paw on Spotify, is going to have 12 short-form episodes that will be available for listeners to binge all at once. That's what binging is. How do you feel about this? This could be interesting. He said something along the lines of, I want to finally make a scary podcast. There's loads of scary podcasts.
Yeah,
Andy, there are loads of scary podcasts.
There are. I think actual celebrities should stay the fuck out of my garden. I think we said that last week. But actually, in reality, I will listen to it, and I'm sure it's going to be great.
Hang on a minute.
Jordan Peele's got. He's. Don't get me wrong. Get Out is possibly one of the best horror films of its generation. Wasn't that big of a fan of Nope, and I wasn't that big of a fan of Us. And I feel like him going, I'm the king of horror now. It's a bit like, fuck off. I'm gonna finally make a. Don't worry, guys. I've arrived to finally make a scary podcast with my 33% hit rate.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit like that. But this is the thing: his movies have been really successful and they are great. But anytime he's kind of veered into something else, it hasn't sort of been so great. The Twilight Zone stuff wasn't
failed at sketch
great.
comedy.
No, that was before. This was before, so you can enjoy that. But yeah. He has got his fingers in a lot of pies. Sometimes you don't want his fingers in certain pies, but he's already in there.
As Andy said, keep your finger out my pie, Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
I think I went off on this last week, but I don't go around making a comedy series with Keegan-Michael Key. So I'm going to do a really great one. Now.
You just turn up with him as your best mate and just go, look, we're best mates now, right? And we're going to make a comedy show.
I'm going to finally make a funny Keegan-Michael Key starring sketch show.
And the same as
Key and Conduit.
There you go. Fits. The thing is the same as like everyone who, hey, you normally see me on television, but it's the COVID days, so a lot of that work's dried up. So now join me and my mom on this podcast. heavily, and as someone who releases podcasts every week as well, I think it stings me even more that quite often it will roll before one of our episodes. Like you put it on and like they'll fly up on there and say, "Oh, hi."
Yeah, of course.
They
They go,
these fucking losers.
listen, I know you listen to a horror-based podcast, but you ever thought about listening to a really good, well-produced podcast of actually talented people for your fucking prick?
Yeah. So basically, I hate it, but I will listen to it because I like horror stuff. So
is it the same as when like a celebrity just goes and waltzes onto OnlyFans and all of the other OnlyFans models get
I don't know, Ben, what's on that website? I've never been on
that.
What is that?
It's that OnlyFans website. It's basically you can only get fans. Yeah, I mean this summer was incredibly warm as well.
No, so I my previous life I was a music producer and sound engineer, and the number of celebrities that would come in. I did a 2-day session with Lewis Hamilton, while he did R&B based.
Did he just do vroom noises?
No, it was
it's just him in a toy car.
It was I shit you not, it was all driving puns. It was all, I'm gonna take you for a test drive.
Stop it.
Pedal to the metal, baby. It was fucking.
Is this a real thing or is this a bit?
No. This genuinely, I did. I did 2 days with Lewis Hamilton trying to be an R&B singer. And the thing is the level of people he was working with because he had the money was immediately like going, I'm gonna do a film. I'll get Spielberg to produce it.
Right.
Oh.
It was violently annoying, and I think the same is true of anybody. If you're successful over there, if you're going to move over into something else, start from the bottom. Don't just transfer your success in one field into another.
Yeah,
because you immediately alienate everyone who's been doing it for years.
You should have to do it under a fake name and not use any of your existing money.
Yeah.
The same is true with comics, right? We've got a lot of that recently. We've just been to a comic convention a week. It's like, oh, hi, it's me. I'm trying my hand at a comic franchise. Yeah, but you've got loads of money, and also loads of artists would probably do that stuff to just be in a room with you for free. Yeah, sure, I'll do. I'll do 60-page thing. Whereas some poor fucker like me comes like, I've got what might be the best idea for a comic ever, and someone goes, yeah, I'm gonna need 20 grand to even look at this script. Soz.
What is your best idea for a comic ever?
Probably can't say it. I'll be stolen immediately. Yeah.
Are you talking about Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, and I'm sure, and I've not read it. I'm sure Berserk is an excellent comic, but I think as someone in any type of indie level of production of any type of media, especially the ones that are a little bit of a sidestep from your big hitters, your mainstreams, your television, your movies, your music, things like that.
Yeah.
When you're in like a bit more of an indie space, and then a huge name comes in and says, I get it very directly with comics when they say, hey, this is a great indie comic. And when they say indie in these spaces, they mean not DC or Marvel, but still but still absolutely huge companies.
Didn't they kickstart it as well, right?
Yeah, they kickstarted it, and I get that with games as well. It's like, hey, here's me, recognized game producer with a credit history of hundreds of fantastic credits. Any games producer in the world would probably give me an audience to at least pitch this game, but I'm coming here to Kickstarter. Please give me the money, so we have to take no material risk.
Not cool. We're airing all of our grievances, it would seem. Okay, last piece of news I've got is the Living with Chucky documentary has been acquired by Screambox. So that's a Child's Play documentary, celebrates the entire franchise, directed by Kyra Elise Gardner. I've heard some great things about this. It's been doing the rounds at various film festivals and been really popular apparently. Absolutely love a movie documentary specifically. So
you love a documentary, the longer the better, right, Ben?
The longer the better, yeah. The longer the better. No, I'm not into girth. I'm only into length.
When it comes to documentaries, I'm not sure how you make a girthy documentary.
Yeah, it would just be stuff full of shit, wouldn't it? Yeah, so I don't know how long this one is. I think it's just regular length, 90 minutes or so. But yeah, it's not compared to things like the Friday the 13th documentary, which I think was 11 hours. Nightmare on Elm Street documentary, maybe 8. And then Search of Darkness documentaries, which are great times. Probably about 8 hours as well.
I love the fact that the Vietnam War has got a very famous documentary series about it. It's got 6 episodes that are an hour long. they feel they needed that extra 2 hours to talk about a film franchise.
Yeah. Well, it's very complicated. The timelines are very confusing. You know?
Yeah.
You hadn't even got the hockey mask on in number 2, and it ain't even him in number 1. Oh,
I haven't seen the documentaries, but I feel it might be based on that timeline, maybe like a granddad story where it's like the thing you need to understand about the game of hockey is that, and it goes into why goalkeepers.
In 1651, a man took a puck to the nose. That's when they invented the hockey mask.
Steve Stevenson, catering assistant, has got 45 minutes. We mostly did pasta.
Mason really loved the pasta. His mum, though, she loved the quiche.
She loved to get an egg pie.
I would love. I would
make loads of it.
I'd love a film documentary just populated entirely by the people who are at the bottom half of the credits, like location driver, catering assistant, and like those ones that you don't even think of that have just. I bet they've got some sauce.
The key grip. It's like fucking hell. I was holding those wires for ages.
The catering assistant. You're in charge of the catering. I was the assistant to the person who was.
I was helping. Yeah. The person who is like second hair assistant for for the least popular actor.
I guarantee you, those are the ones with the absolute juice when it comes to stories. I bet they're the ones that are like, I can tell you exactly how much drugs this actor is on because they don't have a career that they care about burning.
Oh, I see. I thought this was going to go to a different route.
No. Because your director's not going to be like, oh, that star, he was a fucking prick.
Yeah.
He's got a career, but people who sort of did it for a couple of years
who aren't working in it anymore, now recounting.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're just like, Telly who touches people who were way too young. Blah, 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 blah.
Or just a really overworked like runner. It's like I kept telling them they don't make apricot ribena anymore, but they insisted.
I had to make it myself, yeah.
I had to break into Britvic at night.
Wait a minute, it's you? You're the Britvic guy?
One of the lines I always wanted to use if I ever had the opportunity was to ask someone to get me a cappuccino, but from somewhere that's like a 10-minute walk away. And then when it arrives, look at it, go, what is this? Throw it. Like, I said, I want a latte. And stare at them and then break and be like, I was only joking. It was a cappuccino. Can I get another one?
What a waste. What a waste of everybody's time.
You got so much joy out of that. You're a little fucking evil today, man. Jeez.
Killer Klowns, mate. It's what's done it to me.
Got you spicy.
Chaotic energy of Killer Klowns.
Yeah.
That's it for horror news. Next up is what we've been watching. Has anybody seen anything in the last 7 days, or maybe longer, seeing as you guys aren't on the show every week, that you'd like to discuss? I know you guys have recently done an episode on Godzilla, the 2014 Gareth Edwards one. Is that right?
Yeah, Gareth Edwards. Yeah, we would discuss that one, but we talk about it in the episode.
Absolutely sick of it.
Yeah,
Andy's a big Godzilla guy. He loves.
Not as big as Godzilla.
No.
I mean,
compared to Godzilla, I'm a tiny little man. But I like Godzilla though. I like Godzilla probably best of all.
Yeah.
In his really stupid "these films are basically Power Rangers" movies era. Yes. I love it when I love one of my favorites is possibly Godzilla versus Megalon, where Godzilla is getting teamed up on by both Seatopia's champion Megalon, and they call Gigan from space. So thankfully, heroic robot Jet Jaguar, and I quote, programs himself to grow so he can fight alongside Godzilla.
I mean, that is pretty incredible.
And he's got Jack Nicholson's face as well as Jet Jaguar. He's great.
And eyebrows.
Am I right in thinking that Son of Godzilla is a thing that exists and I've seen?
Mm-hmm.
And Son of Godzilla basically. No, Ben, don't get me started on Godzilla. You ain't got the time for it. Son of Godzilla is a completely different thing. And instead of doing atomic fire, he just does little rings of smoke.
Yes, he fucking does.
Little Victrix.
You've just awakened a memory. You've awakened a memory. That's good. That's good to know.
Son of Godzilla is a heartwarming film.
Right. Okay. I feel like I've opened something up here, Andy. That's.
I need to rewatch a few of these old ones, man.
It's not a therapy session, okay?
These are all
it can be.
positive memories. Nothing to work through when it comes to Godzilla. It's the one good thing in life.
Yeah, he's our scaly boy. We do love him.
Big stompy lizard man.
Big stompy lizard man with cute feet. In the legendary remake, he's got really cute feet. I'm into Godzilla feet.
Little stumpy, cute feet.
If Godzilla started an
isolate
OnlyFans
that
for
audio.
his feet, Godzilla had an OnlyFans for his feet, I'd be a top subscriber or however it works.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, good save.
No,
good save.
It's one of those things I log into and I'm like, this is extra steps now.
I mean,
you're like,
making an account to log into is enough of a step.
I don't want to have to make an account for anything.
You just said you logged in.
Yeah, I was going to say you've made an account to masturbate. That's fucking insane.
That's my point. Is that
I struggle to get into emails, let alone like I just give up halfway through. Password, we've sent a verification code. Fuck it, I'm flaccid.
That's exactly what I do. We're saying the same thing.
So you do this to deter yourself from masturbating. You get yourself like going, and then you're like, yeah,
just connect it to your bank account.
Yeah. Get the verification code. All right, two-step authentication.
Nothing gets me over like a CVC code. Ooh.
Nice, nice.
Well, have you guys anything else you'd like to mention that you've seen recently? This worth a shout. Anything horror related? Anything horror adjacent?
I saw Barbarian at last. Yeah, actually released over here, man. That was not what I expected, but it was really fucking fun, man.
Yeah.
Justin Long
has had so many name drops on this show in the last like 4 or 5 weeks. It's been insane. But yeah,
I'll say waiting for it. It's what I watched as well this week, Ben. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. And
nice.
Like Ben, I was surprised. Yeah, I on purpose tried to learn as little as possible.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun, a lot of star power on that as well, right? Like everyone in it.
Yeah. It's one of those ones that we got kept fucking waiting on the leash for ages, though, man. Like the States had it, like a month and a half?
Yeah.
Like 2 months before us. Everyone was talking about it.
It's every wonder that it wasn't just immediately spoiled for us, because already
I know.
Very good natured. Why do they need to wait saying, oh, I've done this great poster for it? Or, even they contain a degree of like spoilers, and I'm like, come on, it's not acceptable anymore. It's not.
I didn't manage to avoid
1998.
Managed to avoid spoilers. Didn't see the trailer in full, even though I think I was in the cinema like more than once when it was playing. So glad I managed to avoid everything, because the what the fuck moments were that much more impactful.
I've sort of done this thing where I've avoided spoilers by not watching the film or anything to do with it.
Well, how's that
commitment?
I don't want to watch the film. I don't want it spoiled. So if I watch the film, I'm going to know what happens in the end, and then
well, that was a big spoiler. That entire movie was spoiler territory.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus.
So I don't like horror. I try and watch as little of it as possible. I do.
Have we got the trapdoor button that we can just press?
Welcome to my world, right? When I'm just sort of like, dude, I just fucking clocked this sick like 80s anthological horror, and he's like, yeah. End of conversation.
Yeah. Question mark.
Yeah.
I'll be watching Austin Powers 2 again. Thank you.
Yes, I will.
Some
would call it the pinnacle of the Austin Powers trilogy.
Definitely the best one.
Rob loves some Will Ferrell.
With some Will Ferrell is good. But I'd argue Austin Powers 2 is the spooky buddies of the Austin Powers trajectory.
Isn't there an actor in Austin Powers, the guy who gets run over by
there is an actor in Austin Powers
steamroller?
Several.
Who knows?
None of them were really those people.
Or do you think they were all like the fembots?
Fuck off.
Just all in disguise. No one was an actor.
Let me deliver this wonderful little nugget of factoid in your ears, please.
Nugget me.
The guy who was killed by Austin Powers with the steamroller.
Yeah.
He's also in Halloween Kills. He's the only actor who's been killed by Mike Myers and Michael Myers.
Is that true?
Good. I'm glad we paused that. That was excellent.
True fact.
That is incredible.
That's pretty good. I feel bad.
That's good, right?
Wait, which one is he in Halloween Kills?
He's one of the gay couple.
He's one of the Johns. Is it Big John or Little John?
Yeah. Big John.
I don't know.
Shit.
Are their nicknames accurate or ironic? Is he big or little?
He's Little John. So the big dude is Little John, and the little dude is Big John.
I saw this recently, like on Twitter, and I was like, "That is a fantastic fact that I'm going to keep for dinner parties."
Well, that's his tombstone. Yeah. Like when he's dead, that has to be his tombstone. Because what else are you going to write? Saul
Oh,
in
so- oh,
this.
this-
Fuck off, mate.
Granddad, father, brother, friend. Fuck you.
Fuck
all right?
off.
Yeah.
Get over yourselves. Jesus Christ.
They do say the third one's usually the worst, though, don't they? So third death for this guy is not going to be really as well celebrated as the first two.
That's true.
And
That kind of
need to
held
watch that
true with
film.
Halloween as well.
Well, I don't
You
need to
guys
watch
seen
those
Halloween
films now.
Ends?
Haven't
I
seen
have
any
seen
Halloween.
Halloween
Of course you
Ends.
are.
Mhm.
What did you think of that?
I definitely prefer
That sound.
Kills.
There's nothing else to say.
Yeah, dude, I'm with you 100%.
Yeah.
I went in
for-
with like amazing hopes, being sort of like, he beat up a town. This is going to be dope.
There was a woman with a
Nice.
fucking iron ready to kill him.
Yeah.
He's got old now. Like that weakened him just enough, and he has been living in a sewer
The only thing that
inexplicably for
bothers
4
me
years.
about this, right, is my main fucking problem with the entire thing is that the 24-year-old that is continuously bullied by children can beat Michael Myers to the ground and steal his mask like it's nothing after he's just beat up an entire fucking town. I've never been more angry in a cinema and had to sort of conceal it from just being obnoxiously loud as like when you see it and people are like, oh shit, man, oh, he's got the mask now. I was like, what? No.
Finally, the battle
No.
you've been waiting for.
Yeah.
Two weak as fuck people.
I
That's
just,
pretty much what it was. An elderly woman
Yeah.
versus an elderly man.
Especially because she
But he's got
decided to
supernatural strength. Not anymore.
But the problem is that Laurie Strode spent all that time training, and then the death of her daughter prompted her to walk out the hospital determinedly to have a final showdown, and then give up training and live a normal life for 4 years.
yeah,
Is any
she
of
was
this
like, fuck this, I'm
considered-
making a pie.
Is any of this considered spoilers for someone who's never seen a Halloween film?
Yeah, all of it. Do you want to know another one? Michael Myers' biggest weakness,
Yeah.
the fridge. He
Okay,
can
good to
rip
know.
his hand in half to
Yeah.
strangle a woman.
Yeah.
But a fridge on his knee, death.
Right.
It had a load of ice cubes in it. It had a load of ice cubes in it. all right?
Second
The extra
only to like a metal chombling machine. That's probably his greatest weakness of all. That'll sort it
Yeah.
right out.
I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't like it. Well, I think that our biggest problem was that the fact that the trilogy felt so just disjointed. It felt like each film had such a different tone, and it just felt like there was no plan for the trilogy.
They had
a
a great idea for a resurrection in not Halloween Resurrection. They had a great idea to bring it back with Halloween 2018. That final scene should have actually that wasn't even necessary. Hubris is what got. They flew too close to the sun and said, "Oh, you did a really good job. Do you want to do 2 more of those? Because money."
Oh, so it's
Yes,
the
please.
it's the old Star Wars Disney Star Wars problem of not knowing
Pretty
what the
much.
3 film stories
And the
are.
yeah.
Just
Well,
sort
I
of
think
like
I think we said that exact same thing over the last couple of days, as well, didn't we, Andy? But and the titles, Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, are amazing. Like that is those are great titles,
Yeah.
and I think we've got to see some good shit in these movies. But yeah, I think I did prefer it to Halloween Kills because that just genuinely felt like, I think Andy, you said it felt like it was wasting our time.
On
Whereas Halloween
purpose,
Ends-
deliberately.
On purpose. Whereas Halloween Ends, sure, it was a bit of a clusterfuck, but at least it felt like it was giving it a go. I don't know.
Yeah, and to be fair, I did audibly gasp when that kid got absolutely biffed over that banister.
Oh yeah.
I was genuinely surprised. I was
Can
like,
I ask,
oh
though,
shit.
as somebody who's not seen them, you guys sort of talk as if you're fans of this, but you don't like any of them.
Oh, there's nothing fans hate
Wow.
more than the thing that they like.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
You say that, but me and Andy did a Halloween franchise ranking episode where we ranked Halloween 2018 as our favorite of the whole franchise.
Whoa. Okay.
It's a fucking great movie, man.
It's a great
2018's
movie.
dope as fuck. But the reason that Ends broke my heart is because, like you said, Kills felt like it was a waste of time. Like it was just setting up for something epic. And then we just got this fucking like wet, flaccid penis of a trilogy finisher. And it just, I've never been more. I went to see it twice on opening night as well. I had like 2 separate showings booked.
I remember that
because I was
you came
so
out
excited.
And I was like, how was it? And you're like, I'm
Wait,
gonna see it again because I don't think I don't know. I have to watch it again. I'm like, wait, you're going right back in?
you saw Ends twice.
Yeah, on the same day.
Wow. Okay.
Like a mental.
I went in the
You-
afternoon to see it in IMAX because I thought that would be like a, like the boom, the one. And I came out and I was just, heartbroken, and then I watched
maybe
it
a slightly
again.
smaller screen. I'll feel better.
See, this is what I'm thinking. Maybe it was out of.
It was too big.
Yeah. It didn't help. It's just a spoiler.
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh, that's the spoiler for me.
Yeah.
Make sure to watch it on the right size screen. Doesn't
Yeah.
really affect it.
Watch it on a CRT from a distance, and you're all right.
Watch it on your phone as the director intended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blue tack your phone to the opposite end of the room, and you should be fine.
Watch it on a Game Boy Watch.
Sure.
Or if you could. Yeah. Has anyone
Print
seen
off
anything else?
Print off each individual frame on the
As a
Game Boy
GIF.
camera and print it.
Just
And then-
as a flip book, like.
Yeah.
Not even as a flip, but just line them out and run along. Look at it.
Imagine doing a film like that. It's like, oh, it's getting really tense. I'm not sure I can flip on. slowing down like the pressure on your thumb because you're like really eking it out. Like
Accidentally flipping through a really tense moment. Like,
Nope. Just paper cutting on the most pinnacle point, and you're like, "Oh, I've lost my place." All right, well, I'll just start again then.
it'd be really good though, because if you were then editing it for a kid, you're like, all right, I want my kid to watch this. I'll just rip out these bits.
Yeah.
We all know for a fact that if you released a movie like that, it would just get lower and lower on cyan throughout the movie.
Oh, he's gone all streaky towards the end.
Yeah, exactly. I need to fast forward and rewind. It's got something on the tape. No. It's just the printer's running out of ink.
Yeah. Anybody else seen anything they want to mention? Andy, have you seen anything other than
Just Barbarian? I will mention I wanted to get to it before we did this, but I haven't, so I will do it in the future. There is not only a game coming up, everybody, but there is already a Killer Klowns from Outer Space fan comic, written by Rosie Knight, drawn by Daniel Rudamessa. I haven't got around to reading it yet. You can pick it up on Gumroad, I believe. I am going to have a look at that to see what the fans have made. Maybe they have explained the complex lore of the Killer Klowns. Are they truly from outer space? Or are they going to be interdimensional beings like off Indiana Jones that time?
Wow.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I've seen that one.
No,
is it black and white as well?
I think it's just black and white, yeah, from the preview images.
Interesting.
Nice.
You can just imagine the color of clowns.
Oh, yeah.
Easier to print.
Yeah. They ain't going to have that cyan problem.
Any cyan problems. Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, so I am going to read that and see if that helps us build the complex lore. I'll give you the link, Ben. You can whack it in the show notes in case anyone leaves this episode with a deep thirst.
My co-host is going to bankrupt himself this month getting that. No, you've got like a Kiss versus ET comic, right? And you've got the Godzilla one on the way.
Mars Attacks.
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
Kiss and Mars Attacks.
Difference.
Well,
I
can help you out with this one, Ben, because this is on Gumroad, so you can pay what you want for it. Give them a fair price. That's a budget anyone can afford.
Is it called Recount? Preamble?
No, the one I'm looking at here is literally Killer Klowns from Outer Space fan comic by those people I named before. It's on Gumroad right now.
Okay. There's a
Talking
few
about
comics.
Talking about horror comics, let's just picked up this at the weekend at Fort Bubble. Andy, you picked up as well. It is Jules featuring Hendrix, who is the second in command to Brady. That's right, isn't it? In Jules, you can't really see it because of the
background.
Nice, yeah. Nicely done.
Jules meets Tremors. So the character
God.
goes from.
Oh, I didn't need to hear another second of that. Ben had been talking to the is writer and artist, right? But
so it's writer Matt Stapleton, but we met the artist Reese Wooten.
Who was talking to Reese. He literally showed it to me and said, "Hey, it's Jaws and Tremors." I was like, "I'll be able to buy a copy in a minute, mate." That's true.
That's fucking insane.
Guys, Ben Groves can only get so erect. All right.
Honestly, I'm about to pass out.
Dude, we'll have to send you a link to it because it looks fantastic. And I think the next one they go to Santa Carla and it moves into the Lost Boys universe. So yeah, very, very, very exciting.
Yeah, can you link me though?
Of course, definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Apart from that, of course, while we were at Thought Bubble, we sat down and spent a lovely evening watching Killer Klowns from Outer Space.
Well, this is the thing. We've been doing this podcast for a long time, and whenever we watch the movies, we tend to watch them in the comfort of our own homes, not together. We don't. The hot takes aren't live and unfiltered, are they, Andy? We kind of go away and then come back and deliver them this way. But we watched it in company of each other, wrapped up tightly together on the sofa, nice and warm.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
That sounds lovely.
It was pretty
feeding
nice.
each other M&Ms.
Yeah, feeding each other M&Ms. Oh, this one has got a peanut in it. Delicious, wonderful. Oh, lovely. So yeah, that was an experience. Is that the first time we've done this for the show, Andy? Is that the first time we've ever watched a movie together? Oh.
It is a different thing. Ben Groves came down to visit me very kindly, and we watched a couple movies. And it's weird watching. But Ben and I will watch films together, as it were. We will both watch the same film that week. And we've been doing that for nearly a year. And it's been lovely. But then it was like suddenly we were watching one together. We're like, oh, well, why don't we just do this? Like, this is so much easier.
Way easier. Because now I'm not just yelling at nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you're here to validate my hilarious comments.
Yeah.
And we all need validation.
That's all we watched. This is what I'm saying.
We watched Moonfall, which is it's a beautiful film.
Ooh.
If you haven't seen it, literally, it's worth every minute. It is cinematic masterpiece.
Worth every minute. I think money in to meaningful expression out, it is probably the largest ratio,
honestly,
of amount of money spent on meaningless bullshit.
I don't know how that got approved, or if there was ever a production meeting where someone had to sign off on a script. But they just fucking went for it, man.
The catering assistant do it.
Yeah, man.
The film is mostly pasta.
This is where the documentary comes in. It's the Moonfall DVD extras. There's 9 hours of the catering assistant and hogwash.
The script.
They wrote the script in crayon.
Up from alphabeti spaghetti. They just stir the alphabeti spaghetti again. See if it gives us an idea.
I reckon they just had a flip chart and someone wrote moon and then they just wrote, you know the moon, right? Yeah. What if it falls?
It falls because it's evil.
What if it falls? No. What if it fall? Now delete the word it. Moonfall.
Yeah.
Andy, you are shockingly close to the whole thing of that movie.
I think it's been spoiled for me in some degree, but it's okay. But this also the one where they've got a science character who is an absolute and very vocal Elon Musk fan, which probably will indicate where the money came from to get the film made. Because recent events have taught us anything. He's a guy that does not mind wasting money.
Ooh.
Honestly, you just need to watch it because we could tell you about it and it'd sound made up.
Yeah.
So until you see it for yourself and know that it
is
actually
made up,
exists.
Right?
No, it's a documentary.
Written by a catering assistant.
Yeah, in crayon.
And alphabeti spaghetti.
What colour crayon?
Keep up. Spaghetti crayon. Come on, man. We've covered
spaghetti
this.
Crayon?
Just a stick dipped in the bean juice.
I hate to say it, guys. I totally zoned out. So Killer Klowns from Outer Space is the movie of the week. And it is a 1988 American science fiction horror comedy film written, directed, and produced by the Chiodo Brothers. That's weird because here on Wikipedia it says Chiodo Brothers. On Letterboxd, only got one of them on there. What's happened there? Some sort of
family fallout, yeah. Some sort of bad Thanksgiving.
I think only one of them was in charge of doing the one.
You've only smashed out for one official IMDb account.
Could I use the membership this weekend? Fuck off. So aliens who look like clowns come from outer space and terrorize a small town. That's a brief synopsis. It stars Grant Cramer, Suzanne Snyder, John Allen Nelson, and John Vernon. I've got some choice reviews. Oh, actually, first of all, how it's rated on. So it's 6.2 on IMDb. It's 3.3 on Letterboxd. 76% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes. That's pretty high.
That's insane.
Insanely high. 60% audience. 60% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Some choice reviews. We've got Ian West. Don't know if he's a relation of Fred. What are you going to do with those pies, boys? Cotton candy cocoons, shadow puppets, acid pies, and popcorn bazookas all add up to one thing. Essential clown cinema. 5 stars.
Clown cinema?
Essential clown cinema.
Yeah.
Is that a fucking magazine that exists somewhere?
Zara says, this documentary about the clown sightings of 2016 is much crazier than I expected. 4 stars. And Ethan Colburn says, would this movie benefit from a central protagonist and a cohesive plot? Yes. Would I change a thing about it? No. But then he's only giving it 2.5 stars, so a nice cross.
2.5 stars.
Yeah. We
What?
keep
I
finding
wouldn't change
these
a thing
reviews.
about this. One
what was
star
his
out of 10.
name?
Yeah.
What was his name?
Ethan Colburn. Where are you gonna find him?
Fuck you, Ethan Colburn.
He looks like
That's
he's
all I
got
wanted.
lovely. He looks like he's got lovely knitwear in his profile picture. And he
Like
looks-
Mrs. Voorhees level of lovely.
Yeah, it's like the same color as well.
Oh, all's
like,
forgiven. Then say what you want, Ethan. Come
Yeah,
on.
say what you want, Ethan. Come on. Okay, so this movie, who has seen it before? Who already loves it, or this is the first time?
I don't
first
like
experience?
podcasts or horror or clowns, so this was not on my previously watched list.
Interesting.
This was the first watch for me, and it is a film.
This guy.
I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it. It was better than I expected. It was more self-aware than I expected. I thought it was going to be like, it kind of knows its shit. Do you know what I mean? And it's kind of aiming for that.
Did you think that Killer Clowns from Outer Space was going to be presenting itself for the Oscars? Did you think, based on that title, I think this film is going to be like
Highbrow.
I didn't think it was going to be highbrow. I wondered. I wasn't sure on how seriously we were going to expect it to be scared.
right? So we're supposed to. You saw Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and then prepped for like a political debate.
It is a political film. It's a
Yeah, we'll come to the politics of it later.
Police brutality. Police brutality.
Mate, it is a right-wing wet dream. This thing is about owning the libs by turning them into massive ball bags. And look, you've got all the NPC Miss 50/50, the bulimic wonder, right? And then they go around, they get their balls by making jokes that cuck libtards don't understand. The killer clowns, a lot of K's there, are patriots who can make troops raise a flag with hand shadow puppets. And then all these college kids with their fancy degrees don't get it, and they run away because they're scared of the clowns. It's a bit of QAnon propaganda, this, man. Right?
It's QAnon propaganda.
Mooney the cop is a PTSD-riddled vet who represents the American voter. He doesn't believe in the clowns, but he does hate the libs just as much. So he's willing to turn a blind eye, just like the American voter.
I've seen this film before.
I mean, to be fair, it is a great take, and there's a lot to take away from that. But I like the fact that people can watch different films and take different things away from it. Whereas I was like, haha, clowns.
So, Clownzilla, shoot his nose. Oh,
Clownzilla, shoot his nose. That policeman's got lovely hair. Oh, yeah.
He does. Dude, Dave's hair?
Yeah. Also, those... We already discussed this, Andy, yesterday, but how on earth do those ice cream... First of all, why are the ice cream men selling ice cream at night? Seems completely redundant. Second of all, big dog. Second of all...
Sorry.
Second of all, there's no way they survived that explosion in the end by climbing into a freezer, Indiana Jones style. And
what, in the split second while they were being thrown by a giant clown as well. Quick!
Get the freezer.
I read that originally they die at the end, and then it tested, and they were like, no, they've got to survive. So they had to shoot an alternate ending.
So they came out of the screening and got some bad feedback and go, this must be the issue.
I mean, I do like that take on the police officer, actually, because I think we were like, our take was he's not the boss at home. You can tell, and he comes. He comes to
not even the boss of my own house.
I'm not even the boss of my own house. I'm definitely going to be a boss of this town. And he's taking everything out on everybody.
So look, I've got Leslie Nielsen's exact voice. You will take me seriously.
Did you guys notice that? Did you guys notice he had the exact same voice as?
I kept hearing him as Clancy Brown from Starship Troopers and the Kurgan and Shawshank Redemption. He's got that baritone voice of just like authority.
John Vernon, we gave him a bit of a Google, and he is a voice actor as well. He did a lot of stuff on animated superhero shows in the 90s.
Nice.
Speaking of which, R.I.P. Batman.
Yeah,
R.I.P. Batman, indeed, yes. Big loss. It sure does. Right, okay, so So you said you said you've seen it before, Ben. Would you say you're a big fan? One of your favorites?
I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites. I fucking adore this film, though. It's one of those ones where you can just turn your brain off and put it on, or you can sit and really pay attention, and it's a different watch every time you watch it.
It's a party film, isn't it? It's like a movie you want to watch
really
with people and kind of just laugh at it because it was pretty hilarious and over the top. And okay, so in terms of we've got Grant Cramer is Mike Tobacco, Suzanne Snyder is Debbie Stone, John Allen Nelson is Dave Hansen, John Vernon is Curtis Mooney, and then there's obviously various other minor characters who are pretty much there as fodder for the clowns to just obliterate. Charles Chiodo as well, one of the Chiodo brothers. Yeah. It looks like the one who isn't credited on the letterboxd. He played Jojo the Clownzilla. He's in the suit. Yeah, he did.
If he's played Jojo the Clownzilla and he's not the one that's credited.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Maybe it's guild stuff. Maybe it's guild stuff. Well, you can't credit you as an actor and a director off to pay dues twice.
Oh yeah,
I reckon
it's probably a legitimately sensible answer.
I want to be Jojo.
Yeah, I just think it's jealousy. Like it's fuck you. One of us is getting credited, one of us is getting Jojo.
Yeah, I think that's
a fair trade-off, man. I'd have taken Jojo all day long.
What have the Chiodo brothers directed before or since? I don't even know actually. Let's have a look. Oh, wait, maybe not. They did a lot of special effects.
That's the sound of like a dry barrel. Oh,
oh Jesus! They've been credited on special effects for Critters 3. No, Critters 2. All the Critters actually. I've just gone backwards. Sorry.
Leonardo DiCaprio's debut film.
Does that mean they did the big Critters ball?
I think so. Yeah, they were huge, big special effect guys, and most of the budget went on catering for the catering assistant who wrote the script. But after that,
scriptwriter,
it was the practical effects, and the popcorn gun is the most expensive prop.
They made most of it themselves.
Yeah. So like the faces, all that sort of stuff, they made themselves. The big Trump that he fights at the end.
The shadow puppets. It's all done in real time.
Oh wow!
It's all done in camera.
Yeah, all in camera.
Yeah.
It's all in camera. Yeah, the interiors, like especially the spaceship and that, are amazing. I know some of it's like matte paintings, isn't it? You can
but they're good matte paintings.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I'm a big fan of matte painting. I miss it. I know it. I know it's not real when it's CGI. I know it's not real when it's matte. Do me one that looks talented and looks like it involves skill.
There's something like magical about it, though, isn't there? When you see a really good matte painting. When you see some CGI, you'll be like, well, matte painting. Wow. Magical.
Imagine painting that.
Who painted that? That was very good.
Must have taken him ages. He must be well proud.
Okay. So, where do we start with this film?
We begin with lots of people off on a lovely party in a lover's lane. Only to be interrupted. We meet all the major characters. We meet Mike Tobacco. He's out there. We meet all the other classic characters there that are basically all doing some dogging by the looks of things. They're all out openly about to have sex in the same place.
With the car doors open.
With the car doors just wide open, and then
car doors, and they're in a dinghy in the back of their car. Because what is more romantic than a night in the dinghy?
Ever so comfortable.
More wipe clean than a dinghy. Ben.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That's very true.
Yeah, that does make sense.
It's not his car; it's his parents' car.
All right, I'm back on board now.
Crispy velour on the back seat, does he?
Yeah. No,
he's brought his own dinghy along.
Yeah.
And then
did you bring your own dinghy along? Yeah, I did actually. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can you imagine just to bring some rubbers, and this is what you've done?
Should we get into the back? Oh, I'd love to. Just give me 15 minutes to blow up the dinghy. Took us that bicycle pump.
Imagine if he's really splashing out and going to impress her. He's got one that you can plug into the cigarette lighter.
Oh, that is guaranteed handy. Over the pants handy.
Oh, I've got an air compressor. Don't worry, love.
You could if you've got that, you could pretty much skip foreplay because everyone's going to be ready.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, you also kind of need that because the action of pumping it manually is going to tire everybody out. So you don't want to post.
You don't want burning forearms.
Exactly.
Oh well, the first thing I was going to mention, obviously, is just the opening theme, the opening music, and the title treatment as well, which is spectacular.
Beautiful,
awesome.
Apple font work.
What was that?
Powerful font work that's going on.
Powerful font work.
I mean,
and powerful soundtrack, which is why they use exclusively that song, almost exclusively that song for the rest of the film. Because what more soundtrack do you need than 16 bars of the bridge?
If you've got something that works, you know.
Yeah, man. If it's not broke, don't fix it. There you go.
Exactly.
Plus, it's a fucking banger, man. Keep using it. Use it more.
The text is like, do you remember word art on like Microsoft Publisher?
I miss clip art. I miss clip art hard. Yeah. The number of times we've been doing design stuff, and I'm like, I just want it to look like Windows 95, like vaporware meets clip art. But
it's the weekly feedback. I'll send him the artwork, and he's like, "Yeah, but clip art though." Thanks, buddy.
Some more clip art.
Thanks, man. 2 hours of work, and you want clip art?
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Love it.
So obviously, we were introduced to all of the main characters.
They're all doing that,
including... Sorry, go on, Andy.
Yeah, they turn up. Like we've had this scene. They're all setting up to have a lovely evening down the local lovers lane. And who should turn up but some civic-minded local entrepreneurs thinking there's a gathering of people having a lovely time here this evening. I bet I know what they'd like. Some lovely ice cream.
Cool off those hot lips.
Yeah. To be honest, I think they were dead on point. If you were, imagine, think back, if you will, to your days as a teenager out cruising, out in your, you've got your dinghy, you've got your best girl on your arm, you've got your dinghy in the back. You're going to have a lovely time out. If you've been on the beers, because drink driving was still okay in those days, apparently, and then someone turned up willing to sell you ice cream, you wouldn't throw infinite rubbish at them like these people do.
No. I've got a cold sore. Give me an ice cream.
You'd absolutely love it. I think if you were
Chuck as a Solero, mate, you'd say.
Exactly.
It'd be a fab.
Solero would be the one.
It'd be a fab.
It'd be a zap.
Fab.
A zap.
This is the 80s, man.
Quickly
we'd be going for the zap.
A feast.
If I'm getting sticky in a dinghy and it's 1988, I'm getting a zap.
Yeah, you would want a zap.
I can guarantee
multicolored ice cream.
I can guarantee you that sentence has never been uttered by anybody. Even someone in 1988 never said that sequence of words.
Dude, this is what you come to Horror Hangout for. We said it to someone on the Facebook group today. I'll be dead in the ground before I promise you brevity, but I'll promise you things you've never heard on any other podcast before. And we deliver on that week on week.
I'd be going for a feast, although how small is the little chocolate bit inside a feast these days? It used to be massive. It used to break your teeth. Now it's teeny tiny. It's like tiny size of a fish finger.
Day.
Do you think that's like
my day? The feasts were...
All right, Mooney, calm down. He's just really pissed off about his feasts getting smaller. I don't trust him.
That's what happens. You commit.
You get angry about ice cream. Son of a bitch.
You get angry about ice cream, and then you just become a bigot. That is basically
exactly.
The smaller the feasts get, the more attractive the right wing looks. Is what we're essentially saying.
When you start noticing your favorite snacks are getting smaller, that is the change you need to look out for.
You don't admit the existence of clowns, but you do support their work.
Yeah. Whereas I think that wagon wheels are still exactly the same size as they always were. That's a belief I intend to maintain. The positivity of the world.
It's a hot take right there. That is, man.
I found the dog violence at the very start of this film a bit jarring.
Yes.
The dog violence.
Yeah. They net.
Pooh Bear.
You see, poor Pooh Bear.
Pooh Bear. So I've got a long running theory that if you're writing a script and you want someone to be hated by the audience or an irredeemable cunt, get him to kill a dog. It's cinematic shorthand for this man is not going to be redeemed at the end of this arc. He's your villain, and he's going to stay your villain because he's just shot a dog. And
they didn't shoot a dog though. They just netted him. Did they just want a pet, or did they ball bag?
They netted him, and there was a small ball bag, wasn't there? There was definitely
a
dog or a baby.
I missed the baby ball bag.
A dog or a
I sound really disappointed about that, and out of context, that's a terrible sentence to say out loud.
Clip that. Isolate that audio. I miss a baby's ball bag.
I said missed.
Past. Oh, okay.
I'm actively missing.
But now you, Rob, have said the thing.
Clip it.
And you seemed happier when you said it as well.
Right? I said it like I was genuinely hurting. You were too excited.
That's because I was putting words in your mouth, and I love putting things in your mouth.
I thought that they netted the dog and then turned it into a netted the dog. I felt like, and then they turned it into a balloon animal. That's what.
And was that their inception for understanding how to make a dog later?
Ooh. How many dream levels deep are we now?
Yeah, maybe they've done that. They've studied them in. I don't imagine these characters that we meet in a few moments, the killer clowns.
Yeah.
This is the first encounter we've had with them because we see like
from outer space.
Yeah, we see like this comic come over, and the old man and his dog are the first people that go and see. Sorry, use his full name, Pooh Bear, the dog.
Yes,
they go to investigate it in the hope that Halley's Comet, having landed in this forest, will bring thousands upon thousands of paying visitors to this small town.
It's sadder than that. I think this guy's just fucking hungry because the things he lists are like they're going to bring hot dogs and tacos, and like he just lists food items that you'd set up at like a county fair to his dog. I warmed to this guy so much, and then to see Pooh Bear get netted and turned into a ball bag, I was like, okay, this film has gone from 0 to 100 real fucking quick.
That guy, it's I read it as like a shout out to Creepshow in '82. You know, the Stephen King anthological horror.
He's wearing the same outfit,
yeah, same outfit, the same premise. The asteroid, the comet lands on his farm, except for Stephen King goes and fingers it and then turns into mold.
Yeah, moldy moss.
This guy
so obviously everybody sees this strange glowing object fall to Earth. They all go to obviously the farmer first goes to investigate. Gene Green, his name is.
Mm-hmm.
He gets blasted through the clown turns up at the door after he tries to get revenge for his dog, and he makes his hands ever so sore by grabbing a big electrical cable.
Yep. Never do that.
And then clown comes and blasts him with a turn you into cotton candy.
Yeah, gun thing, which again all have unique designs. As if the US military, do you know what it is? It's COD charms. That's what it is. That's why their guns all look different. They've all got different skins.
They've really gone through the level grind.
They really have.
They've spent so much money.
That's why they're so angry and evil now. Like, I have spent a fortune. I could have been invested in intergalactic travel and a more efficient way to make cotton candy and popcorn to sustain our race. Right. I've blown it all on aesthetic DLC, loot boxes.
Loot boxes.
Not even buying them directly.
Yep.
Does anyone play COD?
No, God no.
I haven't.
I'm almost 40 years old. I'm looking forward to playing the Pokemon games, not COD. Come on.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
I don't. If I want a 12-year-old to tell me to suck my mum, there are other places I can go than my own living room.
You're not wrong.
And that happens when the TV's not even on.
Exactly. The clowns upset me though because they look, they look like weird fucking clowns. It's the way they sound because they sound almost identical to Jawas. And I'm wondering if that's what George Lucas was hiding under those cloaks. I'm wondering if these aren't killer clowns from outer space. These are just naked Jawas.
And of course, we never know. We never go to Earth in the Star Wars films. We never know the scale.
Exactly.
So those could be those giant clowns in this film.
Could be
if Luke Skywalker comes to Earth, he could be like 20 foot
huge,
tall.
Yeah.
We've got no scale.
There's no scale for Star Wars. And
Chewbacca.
Fucking hell. Chewbacca would block out the sun. He'd become the sun.
Right.
So I reckon
Killer Clowns Jawas confirmed.
Killer Clowns are just Jawas.
What I found really strange about the clowns is that how some people react to them as if they are horrible, terrifying, disgusting monsters, and other people react to them like they're kind of cute and kind of funny.
Is that how people react to clowns?
True.
Yeah, I guess that probably is a good point, but it's still quite strange, isn't it? When like a girl is kind of like waving to a clown with all these horrible, disgusting teeth in his mouth.
Yeah, it is true that people do have, and their MO seems to change as well, because at one point, I mean, we'll come to it shortly, like when they first arrive in town, he sees some people come in and is like, shit, better pretend to be a robotic pajamas gorilla outside this shop. But then 2 minutes later, he's in the shop, literally turning people into cotton candy and just ever so slowly wrecking the place and like
I feel
literally blitzing the talcum powder. while the shopkeeper stands there's like, excuse me?
The talcum powder.
Yeah.
Jawas
pajamas
famously
gorilla.
love cocaine.
The pajamas
Why do you think they're
gorilla.
always
just
selling
as,
shit?
Just as,
But I don't think they sell that off the shelf in a convenience store.
In Crescent Cove, they do. Why do you think Mooney's such a grumpy fucker? It's just on a permanent come down.
I felt like the pajamas gorilla was just as terrifying as the clown, if anything.
I would say more because I don't
I
do
was
well
baffled
with
by the
primates.
concept. Okay.
They-
They're incredibly strong. as
Could have
well.
been the hero that Crescent Cove needed.
Exactly, because those
If-
fuckers will tear your face off at a moment's notice.
Yeah, and that's a flesh gorilla, not a robotic one.
Exactly. So mecha gorilla, right?
Mecha pajamas gorilla, please.
Mecha
Full
pajamas
name.
gorilla, right? Sorry, I didn't mean to disrespect or misgender him. Them. Mecha pajamas gorilla rips faces off like all fucking primates do, the scary motherfuckers. What are the clown's weaknesses? Sorry, the Jawa's weakness. Having their face ripped off.
Yeah. And it's the weakness of everybody, really.
I'd say
This is not
it's a
not this
universal
upcoming
weakness.
game.
I don't want to meet the person who's that like that's their strength.
Nicolas Cage and John Travolta, excuse me.
Ooh,
They have
take it
help
back.
doing that though.
yeah,
Oh yeah, true.
I take
Very
it back.
true.
Face off.
They get
make
a
sure
large
you change-
assist.
Face off. Make sure you change their hairlines as well.
Very
Come
true.
on. Don't confuse
Um,
anyone.
So this is all when Carnage breaks loose. But before we get to that, we have our two heroes, old Mike Tobacco and
Aye.
Deb and
Mike
Debs.
Tobacco with lovely.
They-
He's got lovely hair as well, but he's also got a
Yes.
lovely chunky knit jumper.
He's
which
got a
I quite
lovely chunky knit, and
I
he
wanted
does.
that jumper. I wore this jumper as a Mike Tobacco reference.
It's very
I-
nice.
Right, I was like, it's a jumpers film. We'll cover it as
It's a
jumpers.
knitwear film, man. Yeah.
I mean, and it does strike me as probably quite an autumnal evening that they're out on. So he's probably he doesn't need a coat, but that's sensible wear
Yeah, he's
If
a
you-
practical boy.
if you're going to be
that was
out.
you. That was you last night, Andy. I think I said to you, "Do you not want to wear a coat?" And you said, "Eat shit." I've got. It's an autumnal evening, but I've got a lovely
You're not my
jumper.
real dad, Ben. Come on. Yeah, we got out on a nice autumnal evening, just like Mike Tobacco and Debs, and they go to investigate it, and they have a little encounter. And they kind of immediately uncover the plot, right? Because they wander into the unguarded big top / spaceship through the completely like the black portal door that is completely devoid of any light.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately they walk around a single corner and find cotton candy pods,
Yeah.
with dissolvey old man faces in them.
As a spaceship design, it's very efficient. There are 3 doors. This one leads
Mhm.
to where we keep the energy. This one leads to where we keep the ball bags.
Yep.
And this one leads to where we sleep.
Yeah, it still requires elevators.
Are they elevators?
Oh, I was.
They're
I
just
just
they got
spinning
the-
doors, aren't they?
They got the fire pole as well.
oh, they do have a fire pole
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
multi-story.
with a sarlacc at the bottom.
That's where we keep the sarlacc.
Yeah.
Um,
Where
so
else?
they-
Where do your fire poles go, man?
Where does your
Obviously to the
Sarlacc
Sarlacc.
go? Yeah.
to the sarlacc basement.
Yeah, yeah.
They are immediately discovered, so they have time to think. So that's when they decide, oh shit, better go. A clown sees them and fires some very adhesive popcorn at their backs that sort of tidal waves them out of the spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
a
then
decent popcorn. Is it like a decent living popcorn as well? Isn't it?
It does become kind of like the Thing version of Killer Clowns from Outer Space later.
Yeah.
Their whole life cycle is very confusing. I think
Popcorn, clown worm, killer clown.
yeah, but then when
It's
does
not hard.
and then they sustain
Yeah.
themselves with
And then it's Godzilla clown.
Liquidized
Clownzilla.
human.
When he turns
liquidizing
they-
human candy.
They sustain themselves by liquidizing humans in cotton candy testicles, turning
Mhm.
them into strawberry flavored Ribena.
Mhm.
Two Ribena mentions on this podcast so far.
Hashtag
We are available for
sponsorship.
sponsorship.
Yeah,
Please.
Don't
Don't worry about the break-ins.
It's pretty straightforward, you know.
Yeah, I mean, come on, you learned about frogs in primary school, but this, kooky.
But
Come on,
frogs don't fire adhesively their young out of a gun onto people's knitwear.
Yet.
Have you met every frog?
It's a good
though?
point. It's a
There
good
may
point.
have been
Did you
an
just
incident
stereotype frogs?
that
Yeah,
we're
sorry, I
not
have.
that we're not aware of
Yeah. You're going to
Blimey,
get a
little
tweet from a
bastards.
frog being like,
Excuse me, that's exactly how
That's
we
exactly
aspire
how
to
I do it,
reproduce.
yeah.
Um, but they run one of the clowns over in their escape, which prompts them to basically follow them to town. He's fine from being run over. He sits up like Kane
or Michael Myers.
He
What, in
sits
Austin
up like
Powers?
Kane
Yeah.
and or the Undertaker. So yeah, they go to the town, and we're introduced to some of the characters in the town, like the police officers,
Officer Hanson.
Officer Hanson,
Ever such lovely soft hair.
And blonde.
Lovely soft.
And it's about the right time.
Yeah.
Oh, I did wonder where you were going with that.
Yeah,
but yeah.
same, man. I got a little nervous then. I was like, fuck me.
Yeah. I was like, what are you trying to say? All blonde police officers are
Orthodox and by
members.
the book, unlike
Yeah. Respecting
Unlike-
citizens' rights.
unlike the
Mooney
embittened Mooney, who
gives you
Now,
no
I wa-
rights when
I
you're in
was-
his jail.
I wasn't sure if this wasn't a political stance there, because it's two young men walking through the park at the night
Mhm.
with a bottle of wine, no less.
Yeah, they're no, this is the thing. This is the thing. They're clearly
Rosé.
a gay couple, and the killer clowns want to get into the jail so that they can kill the gay people. It's
And-
an anti-liberal piece of
They don't get-
propaganda.
Mooney's
They-
no Mooney. Old Officer Mooney's no better though, because he is abusing them left, right, and centre.
Exactly. Mooney's the voter, and then you've got the
Does
you've
he
got
call
the
them little
old.
boys as well? He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Ooh, that took a dark turn.
He does.
Yeah, he's all amongst it. But Officer Hanson has said, "Listen, we're gonna have your
He's-
badge."
Officer Mooney is repressing his own homosexuality, and he's lashing
is.
out
Yep.
at out homosexuals in the town by
He is.
just being a bigot.
Yeah.
We've got that down to it. That's it.
So Officer Hanson does stop him from beating them, but they are in the because for no apparent reason. Because at this point, I remind you that no killer clowns are abducting anyone, but apparently there is a curfew
Yes.
in effect anyway. They just live in a town that has a massive authoritarian governor
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something
because
along
these-
those lines.
These kids with their college degrees who just go, "We live in the town too." He's like, "But you can drink on campus. You don't drink in my town."
Can't you just drink on campus, please? So I
Drink in-
will.
drink in school.
Yeah, I will allow you to be locked up on this occasion.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
I bet the mayor is thinking, how can we attract more students to this town? I know.
Killer clowns.
Really, really like restrictive laws, if you could. So yeah, Officer Hanson doesn't really get a chance to do that because despite having driven quite calmly back to town, the last 30 seconds of the drive, old Mike Tobacco fucking loses it. And they
Yep.
basically screech up, knock over the letterbox on the way.
And smash into another car.
How can we get the police's attention and get them to take these accusations of danger seriously? I think drive up erratically. Yes.
Yeah.
They drive up erratically, literally, basically blurt out immediately, "Oh, some bloody aliens, they look like clowns and they've been turning people into cotton
100%.
candy over here."
I always, when I try and convince people of something, I always start with the most fantastical elements
Yeah.
first, and I make sure to make
Yeah.
it sound panicked and poorly
You're
explained.
supposed to say, "I'm not on drugs," and then say
Yeah,
these things.
Mm.
But,
Yeah.
we
I may
don't do that.
I may be on drugs, but this isn't a hallucination. Is usually my.
Yeah, I'm actually completely sober because we finished all those beers ages ago, and I'm not even high on the sugar. I didn't have any of the ice cream.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
I'm just high off dinghy fumes.
Also,
I am a bit puffed from blowing it up.
going back to those ice cream men dudes, they already had two young ladies in the back of their ice cream truck.
Yeah,
they
they
wanted
were-
a date event. They were exclusively interested in as much ice cream as they could.
They
Yeah.
only wanted the ice cream.
Yeah.
They were trying to trick him into going to make out point with him, and they thought in the back of an ice cream van would be the way.
And those lads are being taught a harsh
you
lesson
imagine
by
them
their
more
guests
depressing?
though, because they're like, we're definitely not here to make out with you, but we've chosen the most phallic lollies from your ice cream.
Yeah, I
freezer."
know, right?
Yeah.
Which we are literally anytime we're not talking in this scene, I am slurping as hard as I can.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a more depressing? Oh, how'd you lose your virginity? Oh, I just got one in the back of an ice cream van.
Back in an ice cream van, yeah.
I think that tops a lot of people's virginity stories, though, right?
How
How'd you
dark
lose
are
your
we going
virginity?
here, Ben?
I had free ice creams in the back of an ice cream van.
Disappointing sex and a zap. Thanks.
I had ice cream, I saw a dinghy, and I lost my virginity. That's a fucking wild night.
He showed me his mini milk.
Oh, I do not want to eat the ice cream the day after that one, man. Fuck no.
Oh, I had a way back in the dawn of time. Somebody asked me to put an ice lolly inside them.
Ooh, which ice lolly of choice? Which one was it?
Trees fruit ice lolly.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense. You like a fruit
Yeah, yeah.
pastels one, yeah?
Exactly,
I was
right?
gonna say, 'cause if it's a rocket ice lolly, then
You're not
maybe
going to go
go
as Zoom. That's gonna get broader.
A cornetto. It's just completely the wrong way around.
That's
Mr.
not got-
Whippy cone, just sort of like mush.
It's not got structure. It's not got structural integrity. You know,
Exactly. Yep. I mean, the reviews were apparently it was great. From my point of view, I now know what fridge cold feels like, and not keen to go again.
Jesus Christ. I don't want to get too into details, but what color did you make it to? Because if you got to yellow, then she's a keeper. I can't remember. Is yellow at the top or the bottom? I can't remember.
Neither can I. All I know is the chocolate's smaller on the inside of a feast these days.
You've got to be careful, Ben.
Isn't it?
With some really controversial topics, you've been at the closest to being councilman. You assumed that person's gender. Rob clearly said somebody.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
And yellow is the bottom one. By the way, yellow is the
fifth.
Bottom one. It's the fifth flavor. For overseas listeners.
I know my fruit passes ice lollies very well.
That was clearly.
Well done.
Someone's done.
The first thing I do when I eat one, I go, I'm going to get to the yellow immediately.
There's no foreplay with the red. Straight to the yellow.
No. Okay, yeah, so they arrive and they tell the police. One point to make is that Debbie's ex-boyfriend is Dave Hansen, the lovely blonde-haired.
And he seems very keen for the three of them to hang out together. You're checking in for pineapple tattoos, weren't you, Ben? You're freeze framing it.
I'm pretty sure he's got a pineapple tattoo, like a tramp stamp on his lower back.
What's this about pineapple tattoos?
It's the modern version. It's the modern version of pampas grass.
Yeah,
Ben Groves, my co-host. Have you?
I got pineapple tattoo. I do.
Is it in relation to the swinging lifestyle, though, or is it just because you like the fruit? It's not. It is.
No.
Just on your finger there.
It's my swinger finger.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. You can do the joke now if you want.
No, I've done it already. It's fine. You guys have heard it. It's fine. The setup was there, but I felt on. I don't know.
Yeah,
it was heavy. That was hitting the yellow on a fruit pastel's ice lollies way too quickly.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Fine.
No easing into it.
That would be telling the joke in the back of an ice cream truck at the top of the world.
But no dinghy. So shit story.
Yeah. So Mike Tobacco and Debbie, they turn up and they're basically telling the most extreme version of this story. Not trying to dull it down because we're going to sound insane. They just say there are clowns in the woods in a big circus tent shooting popcorn at us. They turned a man to mush inside a cotton candy cocoon. There's a dog called Pooh Bear who's also been got as well. Don't know if you need to know that.
Most important victim.
The most important victim, of course, yeah. And then they say, and then Mike takes Dave to the site of the ship.
Right, we'll go and have a look at this. Debbie, you go home and just have a shower or whatever.
Have a shower. World's longest shower.
Yeah, can you have a shower until the last scene of the film, please?
I've got washed my hair actually, yeah. So
I was watching that and I was like, well, women cleaner in the 80s? Because we've been watching a lot of 80s horror lately, thanks to Ben. And it seems almost universal that there is the female lead will have a very long shower. Like an impractically long shower. Like they would be able to fucking sand down wood with the back of their hands unless they used a hefty amount of fucking moisturizer.
It was a boom economy at the time. You could have the hot water on as long as you wanted.
Before plus it was warming, you could just leave the shower on and then just leave the house.
Yeah, your shower could have been powered entirely by CFCs and people didn't care.
This is the time of the sticky dinghy. All right.
Yeah, true.
Everything was sticky. Yeah. Ice cream trucks were sticky. Dinghies all over the place. You needed the showers.
Okay, no.
And she's been popcorned as well. So
exactly.
You at least need to change. And you don't want to put fresh clothes on to a body that's been running from Clowns. Yeah, so
true.
So she's getting amongst it. Whereas Dave and Mike Tobacco, I'm full naming him in the entire film, they go to investigate the alien spaceship. And Dave is livid that the circus tent is not there and is completely nonplussed by the fact the massive crater in the ground is still evidence that there was something there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he arrests.
There's no circus tent. There's just a bloody crater. You
Just
liar!
massive. And then he arrests Mike Tobacco for being wrong. He goes right under arrest.
Lying to me about the circus being in town? Fuck you, buddy. Night in jail.
If anything, he's no better than Mooney, is he?
The authoritarian state that they are living in Crescent Cove. Right, being wrong. Unfortunately, that is 6 months. No trial.
Yeah. Freedom of speech comment right there in Killer Clowns from Outer Space. This is powerful political commentary.
Yeah.
Suella Braverman is director of photography. She was a script supervisor. So he's arrested for being incorrect about the presence of a thing. Meanwhile, Officer Mooney is in town being as unhelpful as possible, like you say, Rob, to own the libs, because he's getting call after call from the shopkeeper, for example.
There are killer clowns, and he's like, it's politically advantageous for me to say that they're not killer clowns.
Sorry, Rob, you can finish that point. I was going to say, he's also a conspiracy theorist because he believes that it's very likely that the whole town would get together and get in on a secret in order to fuck him out. QAnon.
Vote was stolen.
Rather than believing that there are killer clowns wandering about. So yeah.
So, no, actually, what you're doing is, at least at a surface level, this entire town is reporting violent crimes to me, or a spate of abductions. And sometimes in a balloon, because we need a non-fatal version in case any characters might be saved. You're just doing this to make me look slightly foolish. So I think not, sir. I'll be staying.
Victim mentality.
Exactly.
No one causes Mooney a mischief.
Popcorn gate.
The clowns are basically have a series of set pieces now, right? That basically take us until far later in the film when we see the clowns getting various people. There's one bit where the clowns pull a classic trick of ringing the door and the lady is tricked thinking, oh, pizza? No, clowns. a classic clown jape of not being the person you expected at the door.
A classic clown jape of being a clown.
Yeah.
Also, flowers delivery. And briefly they mend the holes in a marriage that clearly has got problems. Oh, it is for me. Oh, finally, I'm ready to love you again. Maybe tonight we'll feel the touch of the warmth of each other's bodies for the first time in years.
I haven't looked you in the eyes for a year, actually. Maybe the last time before they can even finish that thought. Cotton candies.
In the ballsack with you.
Yeah. Get in it and get out. And there's another very sinister one. Despite the fact they're mostly doing kidnapping or converting people into that food process. Yeah, where he appears to be preparing just to murder that little girl with a hammer.
Like some John Wayne Gacy motherfucker.
Yeah. He's playing peekaboo incorrectly because they're both covering their eyes and that's not how it works.
That's your first sign of a complete prick.
And then he's beckoning this little kid towards them when they're having what, admittedly do like very disappointing burgers. They're very flaccid, grey meat.
It was a different time.
Yeah. So the clown's this big gargantuan, sweaty clown is beckoning this little girl towards him, and he's literally got a hammer behind his back. It is a multicolored hammer, so it's like
there's always a rogue, isn't there? There's always like in heist movies, like in Assault on Precinct 13 or something like that. There's always a rogue character. Everyone else is willing to Everyone else is willing to kind of do things by the book, even though they're committing a crime. And there's always one who's like, just gonna fucking murder some kids.
Basically. It looks like if the clowns on their objective to come to Earth and get this sustenance that they need, that's like an impossible mission. They're having to really navigate it through. This hammer guy is basically the Jean Reno of the one. He's there, and then thankfully for the little girl, the girl's mother comes and gets just as she's getting to the door of the thing. It says, "Oi, Get back and finish your grey meat.
Finish your food, you bastard.
How does nobody else notice this hideous clown standing literally like a meter away from the window doing that?
Peekaboo, mate.
Now you see me, now you don't. You know what I mean?
They think they see him, and then he does this, and then he's
gone.
Yeah,
I got you.
Classic clown japer.
Peekaboo's out of there. And is this also the bit where we have no one safe? So they're attacking the kids, they're attacking people in their own homes.
Yep.
Even the local toughs are in for a spot of bother because they're.
Oh, this is a great bit though, man.
Featuring the one non-white person in the entire film. # political commentary.
So they're there, up to no good, up to a spot of mischief outside there when one of the littler clowns, still again could be massive compared to most people. He comes cycling over, and some meatloaf motherfucker comes over to him and says, "Here, can I ever?" He's properly getting ready to do some bullying though. He's literally, yeah. Watch this, lads.
If anybody says, "Can I have a go?" Like it's like when someone comes over, "Can I have a kick of your football?" And then he just twats it over to
the whole thing is a trap though. There is no correct answer to that.
No, there's not.
No, that is an bullying game. Like like
what,
can I have a kick of your football?
Did your mum pay for your haircut? I'm 9. Of course she paid for my haircut.
This is a core memory unlocked right now, huh?
Yeah, I was thinking that. It is a therapy session. It's always
a therapy session with us. Our brains are always open.
Yeah. It's a classic bullying technique.
Classic clownly jape.
To be fair, maybe this is a lesson that the clowns can have taught us all to take away, because this bully comes over and says, "Can I have a go on your bike?" He says no. He says, "Can I honk the horn?" Which he does assent to.
Yes, yeah.
And then the bully takes this too far, picks up the thing, and he honks the horn by stomping his bike into pieces.
I mean, yes, I do have to come to the bully's defense here and say that was held together with Pritt, Stick, and Hope.
Yeah.
I mean,
doesn't give him the right to batter
Devil's
it, though.
advocate.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it gives him the right.
You just said I'm going to side with the bullies here. His bike was made of fucking Pritt stick.
I'm just saying.
We all know what fucking happens to. Well, now we all know what happens to bullies, right?
Well, this is the clowns have taught us. You have to stand up to them. What you have to do is very quickly jump into some other dimension, disappear into oblivion for a second, come back with boxing gloves on,
and then very slowly spin on the spot. Very slowly. Show the back of your head for at least 45 seconds. Announce your intention to fight, and then show them the back of your head for at least a full 30 seconds.
Yeah. That works.
But I mean, if you have the power inside you to punch a man's head off and cause another character to appear on screen for a split second saying "damn."
With some sort of samurai cop level of cut, this actor did not know what he was reacting to. They were just like, and now look over there and say "damn,"
and then afterwards they found punch his head off.
Yeah.
And he does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Punches
straight off, clean off.
Straight
fucking rightly so as well. Yeah. Rightly so.
Yeah. Now, do you think this was part of his plan? Was he, really getting into the mind of the killer clowns here? Did he turn up to that group of street toughs?
No, I think
knowing he was going to punch someone's head off. He was going to punch someone's head off that day, no matter what happened.
No, he was looking for meth.
Nah, he was looking.
Hell's Angels gang.
Look at his face
for a little bit. I want a little.
Found
bit
the meth.
He found
the meth, man.
State of his nose.
That's why he went there. He was just like, he found the meth and was like, "I'm fucking invincible.
I'm so fucking ready.
Oh, where's my bike?"
Is this the same one that does because we're in the shadow puppets bit now, right? He does the shadow puppets.
No, that's a different one.
Is that a different one? Yeah.
Is that a different one?
I think
I'll tell you what, credit to this film. There are a lot of clowns. I think a lesser movie would have had like 2.
Yeah, 2 or 3.
There is no like. It's not The Ring, right? It's not like the last 15 minutes has got all the monsters in it. No. From frame 3, you've got killer clowns, pretty much.
And they're amongst it for the entire film. All the different kinds of killer clowns. There's tall, there's small, there's yellow hair, there's red hair.
Sexy ones.
There's some very sexy clowns.
But for some reason, they've been left on the ship during this recon mission.
They're just hanging out by the pool, man.
Well, I don't know how clown society works. Maybe it is very kind of patriarchal.
They're right-wing patriots. Of course, the women stay at home.
I don't
and hang out
think
by the
female. I don't think the female clowns are murderers either. It would seem.
No,
that's
just
a man's job in their society.
It's a man's job.
Yeah.
So the next clown the victims of the next clown are some people just waiting for a bus innocently. And first of all, provides entertainment for those people waiting for a bus by making some lovely shadow puppets on the wall.
A-grade shadow puppetry.
Annoyingly A-grade, because he's got very fat ends to his fingers. So I want to know how he did that elephant.
And he's got three fingers and one thumb. He's a Simpson.
But he pulls it off. He does some excellent work. Only to transform his hands into a dinosaur and turn them all into popcorn.
He turns them into the troops raising a flag first, though, doesn't he?
Oh, he
Hashtag
does.
political commentary.
Oh my God, yes.
I hate how accurate this is.
Thank you, our troops.
If any of them wouldn't have saluted, he would have got them. He'd have been like, "Oh, I see.
You're on us."
Hey, soldiers, do you?
Yeah. If any of them had saluted, they wouldn't have gotten eaten. He was fully ready. He's like, that was the litmus test. He's like, right, which of you are one of us?
Yeah, right. And he gets them, turns them into popcorn, which, as we haven't learned just yet, but as we will learn very shortly, are clown seeds.
Clown tadpoles, yeah. Ben wasn't
Clown
ready for clown
seeds.
seeds.
Yeah.
That's the best fucking way of phrasing that ever. That's incredible. That really hurt my nose.
So the clown seeds are there. They put some more in the bin that slurp someone off later on. We may have even mixed up the order here, but effectively what we have, the middle 30 minutes of this film is just a selection of people being got by clowns or almost got by clowns.
Yeah, totally.
There's like a clown themed, a circus themed burger restaurant as well, right? Is that
that's where there's
Big Top.
Maybe that's why they chose Crescent Cove to land.
Yeah.
Authoritarian government, clown themed things, so we will fit in seamlessly into their society.
So after the shadow puppets thing, the next person who gets accosted by a killer clown is Mooney himself. After disregarding all of the phone calls from the townsfolk who have been getting killer clowned, a clown just waltzes in to. I mean, this is a power move, if anything.
Big power move.
Big dick energy.
BDE to the gills.
To the gills. He just waltzes in and seems to like. I mean, it's like the Joker in Dark Knight, isn't it? He's just like, I wanted to get arrested the old time. All right, my plan wasn't all that stuff that I did. All those 100 things I did. My plan was just to get arrested. And end
implying
up
that when he's in the cell, he makes a pencil disappear because he's a tall boy to just be packing a pencil.
Yeah, he does.
You don't see Mooney sit down after he's in the jail. You know what I mean?
You don't.
He makes a fruit pastels ice lolly disappear.
What's your favorite color? Yellow.
Straight to yellow.
I do like the bit where Mooney's like, I will not be made a puppet, and here he is.
Yeah, he is.
That's good.
Puppet
So
of the
before
right
that,
wing.
though,
Hashtag propaganda.
He immediately provokes an arrest by going, "You don't know, smell this flower," and it's an absolute another classic clown jape.
Classic clown jape. Watery.
What
flower.
a jape.
Humiliated.
What a jape.
And they do
Is it going to be acid? Is it this? No, just water.
Is just water, and he does. I think absolutely. I mean, this guy is obviously qualified clown college.
Yeah.
Time and time again, got a distinction.
Ringling Brothers.
He wrote the syllabus, man.
Yeah,
he wrote. He's on the exam board. You know what I mean?
Because he not only does quite a long squirt of the water of the flower, and then you get that comedic time just to stop for a second, and then there's one more.
One little fuck you at the end. One little splash of sass to finish off the joke. A classic clown.
And Mooney's livid. Chucks him into prison for what he wasn't expecting. What prop does he have that turns into like a big grabby hand to smash him into the bars?
Party.
Like a party blower.
Right. Now this is going to separate the men from the boys. What is that called? Because I've got no fucking clue. I know exactly what it is. Party horn? Party straw?
It's a good question.
Well, a party horn, I'd imagine, with a trumpeted end, but a rolly outing one.
Get in touch on the socials, gang. Jesus, just put us out of our misery. What is it?
Oh, the little blowy thing.
Yeah. What do you call that in your house,
Party.
then?
Why do I even Google for that?
A party whistle? That's not a whistle, though, is it?
Little blowy clown shits. What comes up? Little
lot-
slowly shits. Did you mean little slowly shits?
I think Ben's going to end up in a Rule
Yes.
34 hole
I
very
did.
quickly.
There's t-shirts that just say little clowny shits.
Oh,
Yeah, t-shirt of anything these days.
All right, cool.
So basically,
I'm glad you answered that one for us, Ben.
We
Thanks,
found
man.
we found an ungoogleable thing.
Yeah, great.
Oh, wait.
Finally.
Clown whistle.
Clown whistle.
Is that a clown whistle?
This is what these are saying.
please.
Clown whistle.
Them Googles.
I don't think this is right.
That
Yeah,
sounds like some
so
clown
right.
whistle politics to me, mate. I'm not into it.
So, so when he gets put in the jail, why did his hands come off as well? What's that supposed to?
Because he puts the
represent?
handcuffs on him
Yeah.
to arrest
Can't be
him.
hands.
but
Can't be
the-
fake hands.
Right wing's above the law, so it just immediately falls off.
See what you mean?
You can't
Okay.
you can't contain him.
You can't
Can't
contain.
contain
You
me,
can't
no.
contain that pure political energy. He walks to the jail. He gets access to the liberals that he wanted access to, and then he fucks up the police and turns the police into his puppet.
Turns him
Hashtag
into his
political
puppet.
propaganda.
Does he kill? Does he kill the guys in the
Oh, yeah,
jail
fully.
cells? Oh,
Yeah. He ball bags them.
okay. He ball bags them.
They
Turns
are
them
fully
into
ball bagged.
strawberry Ribena. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
He does that.
Hashtag
Predict-
please sponsor
predict-
these guys.
Yeah, please come on. Okay. And and then the other cop turns up to kind of see what's going on, and that is when it's revealed that Mooney has been ventriloquist dummied.
Turned into a
Uh,
dummy, right?
Yeah, with the blood perfectly running out of his mouth to create
Yeah.
a little mouth. That's good. I like that. And some lovely blushed cheeks.
I mean,
Looks
he has been
absolutely beautiful.
murdered, so it's fair enough. He's a bit embarrassed.
Classic
Yeah.
clown jape.
Classic clown jape. Of,
Classic
clown jape.
clown.
I've been turned
Clowns
into
love a
Muppet by
murder.
Yeah.
And then and then Dave shoots the alien in the nose, and then Andy, what happens? Wonder Woman.
He turns into Wonder Woman briefly, and then a crystal.
Does the spin? Does the Wonder Woman spin?
Yes.
Then
Wonder
like
Woman-
a kryptonite crystal.
Yeah,
And
Wonder
then-
Woman's himself so hard that I guess he goes through an entire fossilization process and
And then
becomes
just turns
mineral.
into atoms.
Yeah,
Maybe that's like the
Basically,
true form. The
yeah,
true
the
form of these aliens is the sort of crystal.
so
Appreciate it.
basically, it is the true life cycle of a killer clown. Popcorn,
Yeah.
clown-headed snake,
Yeah.
Mhm.
killer clown,
Crystal.
Clownzilla.
chaos emerald, destruction.
Briefly Wonder Woman. You
Briefly
know.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, and then which explains why the insane clown posse loved meth so much. Crystals and clowns. It's just part of the life
They're
cycle.
made of it.
Is
Yeah,
this where
imagine that
glitter
connection.
comes from?
Yes.
Exactly.
Canonically.
They are
yes.
they are clown atoms.
Yeah.
Clown remains.
Clatums.
Interesting. So yeah, now Mike Tobacco gets together with the ice cream dudes to hatch a scheme in order to warn people of the clowns.
Because
using
they-
the PA. Sorry, go on.
They do it, of course, so they're warning them, but it doesn't get to Debs in time, unfortunately.
It doesn't get to Debs in time because she's still showering. She's still got the
Shower.
tap. Still got the tap running. And, you know, since you
Sticky
lose track
dingy,
of-
man.
It's a sticky
It's a
decade.
it's a deep stain. You know what I mean?
You lose track of time sometimes. You're having a shower, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get your thoughts just get the best of you sitting there. Like, it would have been better just to go out and write those emails that you just thought meticulously what you're going to type into them.
I find it takes me forever to get into the shower because I'm like, but I'm dry and comfortable, and then once you're in there, you're like, this is where I
is
live
heaven.
now.
This is
Mm.
my life now. Just going to be an aquatic boy.
So Guillermo del Toro's number. Just ring him up. Just do a sequel.
classic boy. Yeah, and the popcorn that was stuck on Debbie's jumper starts to metamorphosize.
In the warm, moist environment of a laundry basket in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
I got energy of the thing from this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like an
definitely.
Attenborough documentary.
Oh.
An Attenborough documentary.
The popcorn finds its way into the warm dark of the laundry basket.
And as we see here, the popcorn becomes the clown seeds, and the clown seeds become the worms.
Exactly. I could do with that.
When they initially hatch, their first instinct is to feed.
What do they feed on? They nibble your knitwear.
She's fully clothed at this point as well, isn't she?
Yeah. Maybe they're not trying to kill her. Maybe they're trying to get the knitwear.
They just want the sweater. Because they do bite her shoulders and it doesn't go through the t-shirt. It's just the knitwear that's damaged. Like
their teeth are only effective against wool, not synthetic fibers.
Their teeth are made of moths and they can only attack knitwear.
My precious knitwear. Yeah, so they attack her and what happens? How does she end up in the balloon?
Or she at first she evades them thanks to some creative use of a shower curtain, throws it over them, and they go to sleep. They go to sleep like budgies.
She just covers them slightly and then walks over them.
Yeah, they go to sleep like budgies.
Yeah. But then unfortunately there's Killer Clown at the door. There's all of them outside like firemen outside the window.
What I like
of Killer Clowns at this point.
When they're all outside like firemen, that means they anticipated the fact that she would beat the clown worms and then escape using that exact window.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, they
also have a knowledge of our emergency services.
Yes,
infrastructure.
But where did we get the knowledge of emergency services from?
Clowns.
Ancient astronauts.
Yes,
which were the clowns.
Complete. The clowns, we know that on the outside, overtly, they are quite a silly race, but comedy takes a lot of planning. So you know that's what they've done. They need to anticipate an audience reaction, and also let's not undermine the fact that they are a species that appear to have mastered intergalactic travel.
Yeah,
so
we haven't. It's all very well calling them a silly race. I don't see you spawning your popcorn children in bins, Andy.
It's true. I wouldn't even know where to begin.
No. Get some popcorn.
Or wanking in bins, either or.
So, but yeah, they capture her in a big, like weird,
a non-lethal balloon. Thankfully,
non-lethal fleshy balloon. It looks like it's very strange.
I thoroughly enjoy how very clear it is that she's not in that balloon when the other interact with it.
Because there's always a secondary cut to see her like just behind some polystyrene, like polythene.
And then the balloon's completely weightless, like on the back of the car. I like how they've got like a little car as well. That's pretty cool.
They all get in.
Pass their test.
Do you think that do you think that the car came before or after mastering space travel? Do you think they built their spaceship tent and then were like, yeah, but when we land, how are we gonna get about?
Yeah,
we need a little run around.
Yeah.
For the school run and stuff like that. Yeah, I reckon
just
for
errands.
Yeah. Just for errands. Yeah. Okay, it's got to be afterwards. So yeah, they chase after Debbie, who's in the balloon. Do they go straight back to the ship now? Is that right?
No, because the heroes rock up in the ice cream van, and this is what gave me the whole unified theory of this being QAnon propaganda. Is they're like, it's the White House on the left. No, the right. No, it's on the left. It's on the right. And I'm like, well, that seals it. And then the fact that the big one at the end looks a bit like Ronald Reagan. So they then have to do a chase involving the killer clowns and the ice cream truck and the police car, which then just ends up in the ice cream truck because the police car crashes into the back of the ice cream van in what is possibly the most inept protagonist arc ever.
He makes up for the lack of driving skills with some excellent detective work. Saying, well, where are they going to be? Of course, the old abandoned carnival.
Been here the entire film, but we've neglected to mention it at any point.
I bet those clowns are probably kicking themselves. Very easy when you wear massive clown shoes. Kicking themselves, thinking, "We parked in the forest like a bunch of idiots. There's an abandoned carnival here with, conveniently enough, exactly the right sort of footprint for a big top."
Yeah. Look, man, you said that, they've mastered intergalactical travel. Google Maps, not so much.
No, not at
I
all.
guess.
I mean, I guess with the complexities and the scale of intergalactic travel, the fact that they landed just a couple of miles from an ideal site is, in many ways, incredibly impressive.
Yeah, we gotta give them that one at least. you know.
Yeah.
That's only fair. That's only fair. But also that this like abandoned, what is it? The amusement park, the interior of which looks exactly like their ship, or is it? Have they relocated their ship?
I think they've
now? Is that right?
relocated their ship.
Yeah,
there.
their ship's landed there now.
Got
But it's
you.
a fairly
Got you.
pristine abandoned theme park with active security on there as well.
Yeah,
But
the active security threw me. Like, what? How do you get that job?
I need to make sure it stays abandoned. So
Yeah,
your
yeah,
job
yeah.
is basically to politely challenge anyone that comes in.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
have to
yeah.
ask you to leave.
Yeah.
What are you doing with those pies?
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ!
Ooh, the melty pies though.
Very melty.
Geneva Convention had a word or two to say about that, but fine, yeah.
I think you'll find that we had all signed the pact not to use acid pies.
Exactly. After their
it's very sinister, and it's very early 90s light entertainment, maybe kids morning TV show humor.
I'm not convinced that Mr. Blobby doesn't fall off the ship at the end of this.
That's his origin story.
I think Mr. Blobby is a half ball sacked Crescent Cove.
Yeah, halfway through.
Resident.
He's got chaotic energy as well. You know?
He's
A
So-
reanimated ball sack.
He's a reanimated, but like he fell off the ship and he was
Right.
there long enough, and he sprouted arms and legs. He had some vague memory of Noel Edmonds for some reason, and came back and then just was like. So
Quickly
we've
bottom.
established that Killer Clowns from Outer Space is part of the Noel's House Party canon, which
Right.
proves Noel Edmonds is incredibly right wing.
This all makes total sense to me. This all makes total sense. I'm not gonna argue a second of it.
So
After the clowns have taken out the only protection that the abandoned amusement park had, they safely take their quarry back into the but are hotly pursued by our heroes, who invade their ship unchallenged because they've gone, well, that's our enemies evaded. Let's
what is
get
that?
on with some admin.
But also, why are they bringing her back? What's that for?
Yeah,
Maybe they don't want
that's
to
weird.
Maybe they don't want to overstock on.
Ball bags,
Yeah, maybe they don't want to overstock on candy floss. Maybe you can have too much of a good thing.
right?
Hybrids. Half clown, half humans.
Oh, we're doing Alien Resurrection.
Maybe that's what
now,
the
are we?
maybe that's what the lady clowns are.
Ooh.
Maybe
There's
they're
going
the
to be some
hybrids.
psychological conversion process that she's going to go through.
Inflatable breasts as well. They've got.
So here's a question: the Lady Clowns, who amongst us would?
I mean, we know a couple of characters that would.
We know a couple of characters that definitely would. I mean, before the inflatable breasts, I was a bit like, oh, horrendous.
They just look like they've just got the same faces as the regular killer clowns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
That, it's
then
almost
the
like they
inflatable
didn't
breast.
They didn't have more than 4 masks. They're like,
And
"We'll
it's
do."
and the thing is though, like, you know, fair play to them. They can't go with traditional. Oh, it's this character that you know, but a girl from, you know, cartooning, because typically big eyelashes, makeup, clowns already have all of those things.
Yeah, of course.
They could have put bows in the hair, I guess.
I mean, what more does a woman have to represent her identity? What more is a woman than just bows and hair in '88?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very different time.
It was. They had shit burgers,
Come a long way. Flaccid grey burgers and
women's rights.
very, very few ways to represent a woman in kind of a cartoonish character.
Well, there's that thing, isn't there? It's sort of like video games. It's like, oh, this guy, he's a weapons guy, and this guy, he's the science guy, and this guy, he's like the ninja guy, and she's a girl.
Yeah. Her thing is that she is the woman.
Yeah. Her entire personality is that she's a different gender.
So initially, I guess it's framed that these lady clowns, that they somehow kill the ice cream.
We
ice
thought
cream
that's what's going to
brothers.
happen when they tumble down into the ball pit of doom. They just get disappeared down a hole in the floor. into the ball pit. I'm sure that should have glad it was deep enough. Could have really put your back out, falling into shallow.
My coccyx.
It could have come dead sharp, but they're all right. And they're suddenly loomed over, some might say, by some clearly female, because inflatable breasts, predatory female killer clowns.
Not predatory, just keen. Jesus, look at him.
Not predatory, just keen.
We think they're
Rob
going to
has said that before, I can tell.
Flip it.
Yeah, as far as
just
we
keen.
True.
I'm just keen, all right?
If I flip it, it is, yeah. I retract that. I retract that statement about your cunt kids.
Their fate is left unseen to us right now, because we return to Mike Tobacco and Co. as they go and try and rescue Deb, and they do by finding her immediately. His punches are ineffective against the against the the membrane
balloon
is what I'm looking for.
I mean, balloon would have worked.
Yeah.
It's quite clearly membrane.
It's a
Okay.
membrane.
Beg your pardon. It's a rubber dinghy.
Yeah, so you can't punch through it, but thankfully, our other mate here, old Officer Hansen, takes it to 11 and immediately just blasts it with a gun.
America.
Oh my God, maybe that's the twist. Maybe that's what it is.
Guns have saved the day after all.
Guns have saved the day after all.
So this is pro NRA now.
I mean, it's pro a lot of things, mate.
Yeah,
The police officer was reading a
gun and the bulimic woman as being in the circus.
The police officer was reading a gun magazine earlier as well, wasn't he?
He was.
Was that a gun magazine? Because he was having a right little chuckle about it.
Guns are funny.
He's
Guns
like,
are funny.
I ain't shoot that. Fantastic. Good old Mooney.
Fuck's sake, Mooney.
So they blast her out of the balloon. Their escape is then impeded, of course, because there are so many killer clowns.
Oh, there's
all
thousands.
killer clowns with hilarious weapons.
Thankfully, easy to evade in the sort of tube doors. Possibly less.
I see no benefit to the spinny door whatsoever. It's a claustrophobic fucking nightmare. It's not quicker. Yeah. It's certainly not fucking draft exclusive, right?
It's Clown Death Star, man.
The energy rating on that tent is going to be through the floor, mate. It's fucking energy crisis at the moment. Imagine how much their electric bill is. They've just got a fucking Tesla ball just sparking off. Turn that off for a start, or stick it on standby at least. You pricks. Global warming.
This.
Maybe that.
1988. People having long showers, and this
you can leave your plasma ball on as long as you want. I mean, we don't know that it isn't absolutely central to the person to being a conversion process.
Could be.
Oh yeah, because we do witness the incredibly complicated straw system going on.
Yeah. So when you broke into the Britvic factory to get that apricot Ribena for somebody, did they have a plasma ball going on? Because that would kind of
lots of people. I mean,
explain
all the big factories.
I couldn't give it away what the secret was, because obviously we've seen in this film how they make strawberry. There's a reason they discontinued apricot. It's quite a labor-intensive process.
Yeah, complicated.
It's not as simple as just putting people in cotton candy. Not at all.
So after they witnessed the guy drinking the Ribena blood,
the juice, the stuff from the floor of Nemesis at Alton Towers.
It is delicious. They run, and that is like a chase sequence where they like flee through various like rooms and traps and things, and the clowns are just behind them.
So they're eventually surrounded. All looks hopeless.
Well, the clowns have got various weapons as well, like a baseball bat, but it's got polka dots on it. Oh, an axe, but it's got a lovely pattern.
Just a colourful axe.
Yeah, man, codskins.
Codskins, exactly. Yes. And they sort of chase them. They're almost like on a platform, aren't they? Being chased by the clowns. But suddenly, just out of nowhere,
the god of clowns appears.
to everyone's surprise. Well,
Trump is
no,
born.
the ice cream truck turns up first, and it uses
That
the
is
PA to disrupt
that's
the
that's the
aliens.
god of clowns that tricks them.
Oh, is it?
Their lord and master appears and goes, "I command
yeah.
you."
Yes.
But why? It's like a marionette, isn't it? Like this bit, it's got all the strings and stuff. So what does
I
that?
think they just ran out of
What does that
budget.
mean?
It's just a big giant clown that's on top of the ice cream truck all along.
Yeah.
Comes out and they say, "Hey, I command you. You should let them go immediately." And the clowns, as I say, despite being from a spacefaring species, are tricked by a mannequin on the top of a ice cream truck, despite the grinning goons covered in big lipstick smooches.
Oh yeah.
I don't think they're tricked. I think they have a system of society that respects clownly tricks, and they're like, that is a clownly trick.
Oh,
so they kind of have to do it.
So like, all right, we've got to respect it because that is a
Exactly.
classic clown
Right, exactly.
trick.
It's like when
Classic
Alan
clown
Grant
joke,
is the Velociraptor voice box. You know, that it's the first time we speak their language, and they're like,
Right.
That's
Okay.
a clownly trick.
Either or if they gained immense respect for the ice cream, because they clearly just
Exactly
cucked them. They've been like, yeah. While you were chasing our mates around. Turns out you've not been satisfying the clown women. About to get us in.
Maybe you should have let them out to do some turning people into ball bags once in a while.
They were going to kill us, but we got them to yellow.
Yeah. So
and they were impressed.
They loved it.
They loved it.
It's 1988. The chocolate in the feast is still large.
Massive, mate.
It was huge by then, yeah. It was the size of a fucking
the outer layer of
Freddo.
chocolate was anything was the minor one.
Size of a Freddo.
It's the size of a Freddo now, definitely.
Oh my god, why have we gone into The Godfather?
What?
Because Freddo in The Godfather is canonically a chocolate frog, right?
Yeah.
I've always thought of him more of a Taz, but you know, I'm old school like that. But how do the scales fall from the clown's eyes here? How do they become wise to the trick?
No, they know it's a trick. It's just, you know, it's polite when someone's done one to go on.
So then the big Godzilla clown just appears.
He appears and smashes the ice cream truck, smashes the clown on the ice cream truck.
Yes, that's the Republican primary race. That's Donald Trump beating the other Republican candidate. So he's like, not that guy. That guy's a puppet. And then he trumps up and he's the big dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, he looks more like Reagan, I admit that, but yeah.
So all politeness out the window, all respect for the clown ways is out the window.
Like Trump. Not doing it the right way politically.
You can't go adding these political connotations to it. When 2 seconds ago you said it's just because they ran out of budget.
Yep.
A bit like.
Oh no!
Sorry. Yeah, but yeah, no, I think they respected the clownly power, and then they moved on.
They've moved on to it, and they have a new God King now.
They do.
And it's worth saying he picks up and throws the ice cream van in a matter of seconds.
Yes.
There would be, as a passenger in that truck, there would be no time for you to adjust and do anything survivable.
I don't think you'd even know you were dead.
I think
it's like a bolt gun to the back of the head, just quick.
I think you're assuming like these are normal civilians. These are professionally trained ice cream men. If they see a danger, they're in the freezer.
And full-time ice cream men as well. The ones that work even at night.
It's lesson 1.
Entrepreneurs always
ice cream man school.
Yep.
Yeah.
And who in that side of the world doesn't love a self-motivated business owner, which is what they are. They can't kill them.
The truck is a rental though, so you know they're intent on really making sure they turn the throughput. Thankfully, having given away a lot of their ice creams, there's a little bit of freezer space which is going to come in handy for them.
Exactly.
We as viewers, I mean, I was heartbroken, Ben. You probably saw me shedding a little tear. I thought they were gone.
Yeah, I think we held each other tighter.
Yeah,
in that exact moment.
I think I said to you, first Pooh Bear, now this.
It was a blow.
Not sure I can carry on. There's only 5 minutes left, but I might have to stop it.
I'm going to start again from the beginning. So after that is when Dave, the police officer, like creates some sort of distraction. Mike and Debbie manage to escape, but Dave gets picked up by Jojo, the Clownzilla, and he clearly is just a fucking action man.
Yeah, like a lovely dolly in his hand.
Such a good moment.
But he uses the pin from his police badge to burst Jojo. Why have they got such an obvious weakness as well? Like a pin.
I mean, you see that
destroy the Clownzilla.
No one's looking at Darth Vader being like, do you know what? I reckon if you punch him square in the face with the police badge, Darth Vader turns into Wonder Woman and then a diamond and then explodes.
That's a good
And
point.
admittedly, only one person figured it out. Like Dave is the only person that's figured it. The entire town has been ball bagged. But Dave is like, just shoot the fucking nose. Come on.
Shoot the fucking nose, man.
People are probably like seeing them approach and goes, "Oh, shark's weakness is the nose, isn't it? It wouldn't be two things."
Pop it on the nose.
Yeah.
Gouge his eyeballs out with it. You got to gouge his eyeballs out when you have the shark as well. Thumb it.
Yeah, get your thumbs in the gills.
Who is testing this? Like, who has this knowledge? Just sort of like, where's the instruction manual on how to
once.
fight a shark?
I met a shark once and I put a Roundtree through ice lolly in it. Fucked right off.
Just in the eye.
Hated it.
Sticking out of a gill. got like a wheeze from now on.
This destruction of the nose also causes the ship to be destroyed as well, doesn't it?
This is the main one, I guess. It probably has a chain reaction with the whole
mothership,
the whole ecosystem.
Independence Day scenario.
Yeah. Kill the queen. Yeah. Destroy the ship.
And then a clown car drops out of the sky after the explosion, as it would. If the explosion of the fucking ice cream van didn't kill these two dudes, they're in another car that falls out of the sky and lands on the ground.
But
and
it's
they
like
survive that too.
If you jump just as it hits the floor, you find.
Oh yeah, I know. That's true. I would have thought that. That's what you say when there's a plane crash. Just this last second.
Jump, yeah.
Just a little jump, yeah. Okay.
Just a little jump.
Just be ready. Just be ready at the door to like step out as it.
Yeah.
So the ice cream brothers survive. So does Dave. They say they hid in the ice cream truck's freezer, Indiana Jones style, and survived. If you can survive a nuclear blast, you can survive an ice cream truck exploding.
And the police have gathered round, and everyone's happy. Not to be a downer in this situation, but I would say 100+ people in that town were successfully killed by the clowns.
They had a good
easily. They had a fucking fantastic kill rate.
Yeah.
See how many ball bags like towards the end of the film? There was fucking loads of them.
Yeah, their KD ratio is super high.
I think they got all the
those
skins,
ball bags are now literally exploding in the sky as fireworks.
Wasted the food as well.
Wasted the food. But when the pies fall down and land on everybody's faces, I thought it was going to be a horrible, brutal ending where they were the acid pies.
Yeah. I thought the same. First time I watched this, I was like, this is the biggest fuck you ever. It's like, oh, happy ending. Acid pies.
Acid pies. No, there's regular pies. We store the acid pies next to the regular pies, but we ran out of the other ones.
It's a gamble, isn't it? Just grab a pie. If it melts them, winner. If it don't, move on.
Thankfully, it was just a final clown jape.
Yeah.
It's probably an encounter like that actually inspired early human society to create clowns.
True.
Which is
food falls from the sky, so we should really worship these guys, right? Yeah. To a Neanderthal, free pie. Who cares if it's got acid in it?
Yeah,
easier than hunting a jaguar.
So that's it. That's Killer Clowns from Outer Space. We've got some name game to play with you guys.
We don't know the rules of this yet.
Yeah, what's the rules?
We'll explain the rules of the name game. It's fairly straightforward. Andy, have you got any examples?
I have.
Okay.
F4 for you today.
4. Jesus Christ.
So basically go in. You go.
So basically, it'll be the plot of Killer Clowns from Outer Space, slightly adjusted for another film, which sounds very similar to Killer Clowns from Outer Space in terms of the wording.
So many.
Yeah, there's so many. But we'll give you an example, and you'll work it out pretty much immediately after that first example.
Okay.
Andy.
Okay, I'll do the first one. And what's the synopsis of the film, Ben? And I'll see if I can riff from that.
Aliens who look like clowns come from outer space and terrorize a small town.
Okay. That one's too bad. Maybe I'll change it ever so slightly then. So, intergalactic grain processors really, really look unkindly upon a small town. Their anger is visible on their faces.
Say the first bit.
So professional grain processors that like to make flour, they come to a small town from their intergalactic home, but they don't look very kindly on this town at all. It's visible on their face how angry they are.
So
Miller frowns. Yeah. Miller frowns from outer space.
Yeah, I left outer space as it was. Yeah, Miller frowns from outer space. You got one, Ben?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay, now I understand the rules.
And
I understand the rules, man, but I've been up since 5 a.m. and it is 11 p.m. right now, and this is a fucking minefield.
Okay. This one is aliens who look like clowns come from outer space. And they, in a small town, they go to a beat poetry session where an up-and-coming poet is performing. And she's great.
And they're still from outer space and they're still clowns.
They're still from outer space, but there's literally nothing to do with this. It's only to do with the beat poetry. A lot of the words that she's choosing as well.
A
lot of the words she's choosing are words that name something specific, like a person or a thing or a place.
So something nouns from outer space.
Something nouns from outer space.
But what she's doing beat poetry.
Thrilling nouns in basement place.
It's just killer.
Just killer nouns.
She's doing. Also, what was also key to this is where the words are coming from about her person.
Killer nouns from outer face.
Correct.
There we go.
Right. I'm still. All of mine are just messing with the first two words. So.
Oh, okay.
Some intergalactic nasties attack a small town, but they do so wearing symbols of authority, of inherited wealth and authority, that are also used to keep your drinks at a lovely low temperature.
Chiller.
Yeah.
Chiller. What was it? What?
Symbols of inherited wealth and authority that these intergalactic beings wear that keep their drinks cold.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm lost.
I'm completely lost.
Chiller crowns from outer space.
Oh, chiller crowns. Mother of God. This is pretty tough, this one.
I think I've got one. I think I've made one up.
Yeah, yeah.
We've gone throw one out there. I'll go through it.
Let's do it.
So I don't know how to format this. It's difficult, Rain, but I've been going on about this almost exclusively for the entire episode. So there is a very right wing, possibly historically the most right wing person in history,
right,
who goes to not a city or a village, but something in between.
Hitler Town.
It's Hitler Town.
Hitler Town.
Hitler Town, yeah. And then they have some form of contest for who's going to be the elected official.
Is it
Hitler Town's presidential race?
Only you could turn this lovely, family-friendly game into
political statement. Excellent.
Political statements.
I'm here for it.
All right, I've got one.
Go on.
We like participation. This is good.
Teeheeing aliens dressed in comfy nightwears, often donned.
Sorry.
Getting out of the shower.
Thriller gowns.
See, mine wasn't quite as Hitlery, and now I feel like I've let you
down. Gowns throughout space.
I got one more.
Go on, Ben.
Aliens who look like clowns come from outer space and terrorize a small town, but while they're here, they become huge fans of the debut Sum 41 album.
All killer, no filler.
Clowns from
outer space.
Oh, nice.
I'll stick to musical if you like, Ben. And in a shocking revelation found out by a young couple who go out on investigations. A popular album by Michael Jackson that had a strong horror theme turns out to be from another planet. Or at least the audio elements of that album.
So thriller sounds from outer space.
Thriller sounds from outer space. There you go.
Perfect.
I got
Nice.
I got one more.
Yeah.
Changing in hoping to secure a career change, a young tradesman who's expert in only one type of power tool decides to take his career intergalactic. Unfortunately, in finding the first planet with water, meets an unfortunate end.
Driller drowns.
Yeah, driller drowns in outer space. That's the news headline.
Perfect.
I love this
That's
game.
perfect.
This is a fucking great game.
It could go on forever because you just.
I know.
That's the end for me.
Oh. Yeah,
I've got like half. I've got like half one. Okay. So
Oh.
the first bit is just killer clowns.
Okay.
Aliens who look like clowns come from outer space and terrorize a small town, but then they just totally and completely vanish.
Killer clowns are out of this place.
Nearly,
Mm.
not really nearly.
Killer clowns.
If you sometimes you vanish and there's no sign of you left.
Killer clowns without a trace.
Yes, correct.
I'd have positioned that, Ben, as some killer clowns
give-
turn their evil ways
Don't give me notes, for
aside.
fuck's sake.
Turn their evil ways aside and help the FBI fight cold cases for missing persons.
Did you have Star of Zoolander struggles with depression in a rocket?
Stiller.
Still a frowns in outer space.
I had Stiller's down, but yeah.
Now this could go on
Very
forever,
good.
so I'm going to put a stop to it right now and say we need to rate the movie. We need to rate the movie A to F. I'll let you guys go first. So Rob, how would you like to rate this movie?
Well, man. Well done.
Sorry. Yeah, I was going to rate this movie A to F. We have been talking for like nearly 3 hours, so come
I'm
on.
going to rate it C for clown. It's
K for clown.
entertaining. It contains clowns. Admittedly, K clowns, because it's a sort of K level movie, but it's entertaining enough to push it up to a C. So I'm going to go C for clown.
Nice.
Groves, my hetero life
Nice.
partner.
I'm going B
Wonderful.
plus, man. B
Ooh.
plus. This is one of those fun as fuck
Okay.
movies that you can watch again and again, and it just doesn't get old. It's the classic japes. They just keep you in, man.
They do. Keep you in the ball bag of fun.
What are you boys
That's
rating
good.
it?
Mr. Conduit Turner. would you like to
I'm gonna
first?
go C plus for clowns, but a little bit more so than
The new
I mean,
subscription service from Clowns.
Yes. I think particularly I dismiss this as a lovely bit of silly fun, but especially hearing Rob's great descriptions of how actually political it is. I think there's a lot more to take away from this movie, and I can only hope that we see a continuation of this in the upcoming game. How about you, Ben? Bringing it home. Yeah.
I think so. I think I'll go for a C plus as well. I mean, I'd be tempted. I think if I'd seen it before and I had a bit more of a sort of like relationship with the movie, I could probably go higher. I feel like if I watch it a few more times and become more fond of it, then I probably will. But at the moment, just from this first viewing, I would say just a C plus. It's good fun. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. And watching it with friends was a wonderful experience.
Yeah, I think that's the way. That's the way to watch this movie. Don't sit down and go, right, I need to really get through Killer Clowns from Outer Space so I can
do that
engage
so often.
so I can engage in the discourse on this important piece of cinema.
There we go then. That's that. Thanks so much for joining us, Ben and Rob.
Thanks for having us, man.
Would you like to direct our listeners to your podcast and any of your social media to see where we can listen to you?
Oh hell yeah! We've got a link.
Oh hell
tree,
yeah!
'cause we're professional.
Do it, man.
Yeah, we've got a link tree everywhere.
Wibblywobbly
We will
link tr.ee/everymovieever podcast, and from there you can find our Instagram, our Twitter, our Facebook, our Bebo, our MySpace,
Discord.
our Friendster. And our Discord, where on our Discord we have bonus episodes, things. Sometimes Ben and I just start talking about film, and we go, hang about, let's record this. We'll slap that up there. Stuff that gets cut from episodes, and people making hilarious memes with our faces. So join us there. And at the moment we're doing Martin McDonagh movies, In Bruges, 7 Psychopaths, 3 Billboards, Banshees of Inisherin. And then for the wordy fans, we've got Godzilla versus
the
Kong.
Thinkers.
Yeah, the true philosophers.
The thinkers amongst us.
Yeah.
We will put the link to that link tree in our show notes. So please go and take a look. Oh, yes.
Thanks, man.
Take a look. Thanks for joining us. It's been good fun. Thank you,
Thanks for having
everybody.
us, man.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been good fun. It's been we've covered as much of Killer Klowns as perhaps anyone else ever has. I think
this is the definitive guide.
Extensive. This is a definitive guide. It's extensive. So thanks everybody for listening. If you enjoyed the show, become a patron over at patreon.com/horror hangout. And thank you to all of our current patrons, including John Crinan, Ben Scaife, Stephen Christopher, Laura Kendrick, Toby Miller, Lane Spencer, Ollie Child, Leslie Carlo, Julia Bilgren, Nick Spill, Troy Bursch, and Pazuzu. Pazuzu's still there, kicking about. Thanks to Taj Easton for our theme music. Thanks to Acast for hosting the show. Please consider giving us a rating or review, and head over to the Facebook group Horror Hangout Board of Advisors for more. We're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. We've got one of them link trees as well, so we'll also put that in the show notes. Link trees all around. Next week, we're doing Tetsuo the Iron Man, which should be fun. Very, very exciting. But yeah, thank you very much, guys, for joining us. Thanks to my co-host, Andy, for being a right horror dude.
I thought you were waiting for me to respond then, but so usually have something else to say. I didn't want to jump in on you. Thanks, Ben. Thanks to you being a right horror dude as well. Thanks to our guests for being right horror dudes. Oh, and we should thank a right horror dude that we met out in the wild as well. We saw Holly this weekend over Thought Bubble. Hey, Holly. Thanks for listening.
Hello. Thanks for listening. Yeah. Yes, of course. And future guests of the show as well.
Yeah.
We're just sorting out the details. Exciting stuff. Yeah, listen to Every Movie Ever podcast. And hopefully we'll have the guys back on the show with us very soon. It's been a pleasure. See you very soon, and goodbye now.
Bye, everybody. Make sure you don't get popcorn. Bye. Bye.
Ball bags.